Hello again. We are back with the tutorial and playthrough, and we are starting with Mage Knight. In Mage Knight, you are playing as Mage Knight. As the game suggests, you are exploring the land, engaging in battle, trying to recruit units and become stronger and stronger to achieve your objective. Your objectives could be like conquering cities, stopping other characters, liberating different sites, and so on and so forth. The game has elements of deck building, tableau building, and hand management. I'm going to talk about it as we go through the game. And let's get started. So I'm going to talk about setup, and as I'm setting up the game, I'm going to talk about each component. So let's start with the character setup. There are different characters or heroes in the game. You choose one of them and get whatever belongs to that hero. So today I'm playing as Norowas. We have the mini of the hero, we have the skill tokens and the description of the skill token, we have the round token, these shield tokens, this command token or level tokens, the hero card, and your action cards, your deep deck. So first thing you need to do is sort out these level tokens. You can see the number on the bottom, 9, 10, 7, 8, and so on. So you put them in order and make a pile in a way that 1 and 2 are on top. Here you can see two numbers. This is your shield, this is your hand limit. I'm going to talk about it later what they mean. And you put them on your hero cards here. You can see one is blank. You just flip that over, put it here. It will become your first command token. I'm going to talk about command token later, but this is the limit of as many units as you can have. The next thing you need to do is shuffle your skill. Before you do that, you can see these two skills. These are the interactive skill. The one with the black head is the competitive one. This one is the cooperative one. If you're playing competitive one, you leave this one in. If you're playing solo or co-op, you leave this one in. So I'm just playing solo this game to just teach the game, so I'm leaving that one out. This one is in. You shuffle all of these skills and make a pile of these skills. And put them somewhere within your reach. These are the description of these skills, what they do. Just keep them somewhere within your reach. I'm just going to put them off camera for now. This shield token, you just keep them nearby. I'm going to explain later why do you need them. And lastly, you have your deep deck. So here you can see the action cards. You can see there are 4 different colors. Could be white, red, blue, or green. Each character has 4 cards of each color. So each character will start with 16 cards in his deep deck. Here you can see this sign, that's the sign of the character. We are playing with Nova, so this is the sign. Here you can see where the card can be used. This is for combat. This is for movement. This is for interaction. This is the healing effect, and this is the special effect. As you can see, it is possible for a card to have multiple signs like this one or this one. This shows you where you can use them. Combat, movement, and interaction is clear. You use them during combat, movement, or interaction. A special effect, you can use it anytime during your game. And healing effect, you can use it anytime except during combat. On the action card, you can see the art up there. You can see the name of the action card. And you can see 2 effects. So you can always play the card for the upper effect. For example, if I have this card in my hand, I can play it for attack 2 or block 2. Or you can power it with mana of the same color to use the bottom effect, which means if I play this card with a red mana, I get attack 4. So how do you get mana? There are 3 different sources of mana in the game. First one are these dice that are rolled and put in the source. You are allowed to use up to 1 die from the source each of your turn. So you can simply get one of these and use them on a card that matters. The other effect are mana tokens. Some effect in the game will tell you to gain a mana token. For example, if I play this card for its basic effect, I can get a blue, a white, or a red mana token. Whenever the game tells you to get a mana token, you get one of these tokens, put them in your play. And the last one are crystal. The crystals are also represented by this one, but they don't go to your play area, they go to your inventory. What's the difference between a mana token and crystal? The mana, you use it that turn or it's gone. You can't use it next turn. Crystal stays in your inventory until you use them. So for example, if I have a blue crystal, I keep it here until I want to use them. Whenever I want to use them, I just burn it to make a mana out of it and use that mana in that turn. So again, both mana token and crystal are represented by this one. The mana goes into your play area, you either use it that turn or it goes away. Crystal stays in your inventory until you use it. You can't have more than 3 of the same color in your inventory. For example, if I have, 3 red crystal in my inventory, I can't get the 4th red one. So these are the 4 basic color of mana that are the same as your card. There are also gold and black mana in the game. What are they for? So the game is played during different rounds that alternate between day and night. During day, gold is wild, you can use it as any color, but during night you can't use the gold unless you have a special ability that says otherwise. During day you can't use the black mana, again, unless you have some special ability that says otherwise. But you can use the black mana during night to power up the stronger effect of the spell. This will make more sense as I talk about the spell, but for now, again, gold you can use it during day as any color, but during night you can't use it, and black you can use it during night to power up the stronger effect of the spells, but you can't use it during day. The other thing about these two is that they only exist as pure mana. You cannot have gold crystal or black crystal. So you can only have crystal of the basic color, but not gold or black. As I said before, each character has 16 cards, 4 of each color. 2 of those cards are special to that character, which is the better version of a card that every other character has. For example, we are playing as Norovas today. Each character has the card Promise and Tranquility. As Norovas, you have instead Noble Manners, which is the better version of Promise, and you have Rejuvenate, which is the better version of Tranquility. If, for example, we are playing as Tovak, which is this sign, his special card are Instinct and Cold Toughness. So Instinct is a better version of Improvisation, and Cold Toughness is a stronger version of Determination. That would be the stronger card of Tovak. So each character has 2 special cards that is special for that character, which is the better version of a card that every other character has. You get your deep deck and you shuffle it. And that's your player setup. Now let's talk about the game setup. So you put this board in the middle that shows the fame and reputation. Then each player put one of their shield token on 0 fame and on 0 reputation. Some scenario tell you to start some at a higher point, but as a general rule, you always start at 0. You also have this board. As I told you before, the game is played during day and night. You start with the day unless scenario says otherwise, so we put it on the day side and put it here. Next things are these tokens. I'm going to talk about the tokens later, how the other side look like, but for now, just separate them based on their badge, shuffle them separately, and make piles for each kind of token. Then you need to set up your advanced action deck. Advanced action card look pretty much the same as the normal action card, so you can see the sign, the artwork, the name, the effect, and the stronger effect that can be used when you power it up with mana. They are just a little stronger than your normal action cards, but basically they work the same. So we shuffle the advanced action cards as well. And we keep it here. Next thing would be the spells. The spells are really strong card, but you always need mana to use their effect. Here you can see the weaker effect of the spell and the stronger effect of the spell. Here you can also see the effect where you can use them. It is possible for the spell that the weaker effect and the stronger effect can be used in different situations. For example, this one, the weaker effect is for interaction, the stronger is for battle. or here for movement and battle. So you can always pay the mana of the same color to use the weaker effect of the spell. For example, you can use the green here for heal 3, you can use the blue here for move 1, and so on and so forth. During the night, you are allowed to use the black mana to use the stronger effect of the spell. For that, you play the spell with the mana of the same color and the black mana. For example, if I want to use this during night, I can play this with a blue mana and a black mana to use the stronger effect of the spells. So you shuffle your spells as well. And we have the artifacts. For artifact, again, you can see where the artifact can be used. You can see the art, the name, the weaker effect, and the stronger effect. For the artifact, you don't use mana to play them. Whenever you play the artifact, you can play it for the weaker effect, or you can destroy the artifact for the stronger effect. What does it mean? Whenever you play a card, the card gets played, then it goes to your discard pile and shuffled back next round and you get it again. When you destroy an artifact, it's out of the game. You don't get it anymore. So you can always play the artifact for the weaker effect, or you can destroy the artifact to get the stronger effect, but then the artifact is out of the game. Another sign that you can only see on artifact and no other cards is this sign. This is for the banners. How does banner work? When you have a unit, I'm going to talk about unit more later, but whenever you have a unit, you can assign a banner to that unit. That unit gets the effect that is shown here, the weaker effect of the banner. Just like any other artifact, you can also destroy the banner to get the stronger effect of it and just not assign it to a unit. Whether you are assigning it to a unit or you are destroying the artifact, it has to come from your hand. If a unit is already assigned a banner, you can't reassign the banner immediately, or you can't play it for the stronger effect. Let's say, for example, I have these two units and I assign this banner to this one unit. So this unit gets the effect that is shown here. If I want to reassign this banner to this unit, I can't immediately reassign it. I have to discard the banner, it goes to my discard pile. At the end of the round, gets shuffled back, comes to my hand. Then next round, whenever it comes to my hand, I can assign it to the other unit. The same applies if I want to break the banner for its stronger effect. It has to be played from my hand. I can't directly take the banner and play it for a stronger effect. So you shuffle your artifact as well. And you also have these wounds card. The back of the wound card is the same as the rest of the cards. You will see why, but the front of them is all wounds. So you just put them face up here. You'll see what we need. Next thing you need to do is shuffle the units. The unit can be these normal units or these golden ones that are elite unit. In this scenario, we are playing through first Recon, so the scenario says we are not playing with this elite unit, so I'm going to put them out of the game for now. But in most scenarios, you have those elite units in the game as well. So here you can see some example of the units. Here you can see the level of the unit. For example, these are level 2, these are level 1. Here, the amount of influence you need to recruit the unit. I'm going to explain that more during interaction. Here's where the unit can be recruited. So, for example, in this case, you see village and keep. I'm going to explain that more when we talk about different sites. Here is the shield of the unit. That will make more sense during battle. And here is the effect of the unit. So whenever you recruit a unit, it goes under your command token that you have, if you have a free command token. And it stays there whenever you use the unit. You put your command token on it to show that you used it, and you get one of the effects that is shown here. If the effect needs a mana, like this one, you also have to pay the extra mana to use. At the end of the round, it gets refreshed and you get it back. If you are at your command limit, let's say I have this unit on and I don't have any more command token free, and I want to recruit the new unit, I have to disband the unit that I have to recruit the other unit. You can't go over your command units. If you do that, the new unit that you get will be refreshed and unwounded. So let's say I already used this one, now I disband it to get this one. This one is refreshed, which means I can use it disbanded. I don't have to wait to refresh it next. So we shuffle our units as well. And that's it. Last thing you need to do is set up your tray. You have this countryside tile with this green back, and you have the core tile with this brown back. The core tile could be a core city tile, which has a city in the middle, or a core non-city tile. To see how many you put and in which way, you see the scenario they are playing. So at the end of the rulebook, you have the scenario list. We are going to play through first Recon. It is a great scenario to teach the game, so I will be playing through this, and if it's your first game, I would suggest you play with this scenario as well. So player 2 to 4 plus a solo variant. Type is slightly competitive, length 3 rounds, 2 days, 1 night. Purpose training scenario is strongly recommended whenever any player plays the game for the first time, as it provides a natural way to learn the game rules and get familiar. On your first mission, you will be sent to an unknown part of Atlantean Kingdom. Your task is to locate its capital. That's all. All the fame, any knowledge, and treasure you manage to get during your mission are yours to keep. For a detailed description of this scenario, see the game walkthrough. Here's just a summary. So the game also comes with a walkthrough that lead you to the scenario, how to play them. You can also use that as with your first game, but this time I'm just teaching the game, so I won't be playing with the walkthrough. So map for 2, 3, or 4 player. Map shape will be wedge with no limitation. You can check the rulebook how the map shape will look like. Here you can see the wedge map, fully open map, and open limited to 4 or 3 columns. So in this scenario, we'll be playing with wedge map, countryside tile 8, 9, or 11, sorted by numbers. The solo is the same number as 2 players, so we'll be playing with 8 tiles. Core city tile 1, core non-city tile 2. Cities cannot be conquered nor entered during this scenario. A special rule, a player scores 1 frame whenever they reveal a new tile, no matter which type. So each time you explore a new tile, you get 1 frame. That's a special rule only for this scenario. No player versus player combat is allowed. For the first game, there should be at least 1 unit in the offer with the village icon. That's the icon that you see on the left side of the card. If not, shuffle the card and deal them until this is. Elite units are not used in this scenario. I already talked about that. You should not reveal a spell or advanced action card until they are needed for the first. Scenario end when a player reveals a city. All players, including themselves, have 1 last turn. If the round ends during this, the game ends immediately. The scoring applies standard achievement scoring. Whoever has the most fame wins if type player share the. So solo variant, if you want to try your first mission solo, play with 8 countryside as well, so it's the same as 2 player, but adjust the game length for 4 rounds. So instead of 3 rounds, you will have 4 rounds. Use a dummy player and a special rule for tactic selection from the solo conquest when scoring above no type. However, if you just want to become familiar with the mechanic, you may also ignore the dummy player in your first game and enjoy the experience with 1 hero and no question. So here you can see the tiles, you can see the numbers down here. As a solo, we'll be playing with 8 countryside tile, and as the game suggests, they should be sorted by numbers. So usually you shuffle these tile, but in this scenario, you will just sort them by numbers. So the other tiles are out. We only keep the 1 to 8. Then we will have 1 core city tile. So we shuffle these, take 1 randomly out. And 2 core non-city tile. Then we shuffle all these three together. Then the core tiles will be on the bottom and countryside tile on top of them. So these will be the tile that will be exploring during the game. The rest of them, you can just put them away, you won't be needing them. So we already talked about this token, just keep them somewhere within your reach and just putting it off camera for now. You have these site descriptions which explain what each site means and what you can do there. You can also check the Biscuit site, they also have a reference sheet that summarize all of them if you don't want to go to like individual cards. Keep them also somewhere within your reach. I'm just going to put them off camera. The same with tactics, so you have 6 day tactic and 6 night tactic. I'm going to talk about them later. And that's it. If you're playing solo or co-op, you also need a dummy player. If it's your first game, feel free to leave it out and just try to familiarize yourself with the mechanics. But as a general rule, whenever you're playing solo or co-op, you need a dummy player. Dummy player just works as a timer. It doesn't have any other special effect on the game. So for setting up the dummy player, you take one other character that is not in the game. You take its deck deck, its hero card, its round token, and if you are playing solo, you also get the dummies skip, but not in the case of co. So if you are playing solo, you also get the dummies skill. You sort them just like yourself. So you take the competitive one out and shuffle the rest. You also have the description of the dummies skill. So you shuffle the dummies deck deck. And on the dummy's hero card, you can see these 3 colors. You can see these 2 blue and red. So the dummy starts with those crystals in his inventory. So the dummy starts with 2 blue and the red. Again, only dummy starts with this, you don't. And that's it. That's your setup for the dummy player. Last thing would be setting up the mana source. There are as many dice in the source as the player plus 2. The dummy player doesn't count, so there will be 1 plus 2, 3 die in the source. I'm going to put the rest away. So I'm rolling the source. So we have a white, a blue, and a green. That will be our source. When you roll the source at the beginning of the round, at least half of them have to be basic colors. So white, blue, green, or red. In this case, all of them are basic colors, so that is fine. But let's say the source was something like this. In this case, that is not allowed. So you keep the basic color and you keep rerolling the others until that is true. So that would be allowed. That only applies at the beginning of the round. If during the round you get like all gold or black or whatever, that's when you don't need to reroll anything. Alright, you also need to reveal as many units as the player in the game plus 2, so again 3 units. So we have Crossbowman, Northern Monks, and Forester. The scenario tells you in this scenario at least one of them have to be recruitable in the village. In this case, 2 of them are, so that is fine. You also reveal 3 advanced action cards and 3 spells. As scenario suggests, you can keep them face down until you need them. I'm going to reveal them because I need to talk about them. So we have the Chivalry, Blood Ritual, and Mountain Lore, and you keep them in the order that you draw them. The order matter, I'm going to talk about it later. The same for the spells, so we reveal 3 spells. We have Tremor, Snowstorm, and Expose. Alright, then I need to reveal the first tile. If you are playing at the wedge map, so the portal has 2 sides. The side A and the side B. You can see the side B is wider. You use side B on an open map. You use side A on wedge maps. So here's how you place the tile. Here you can see this circle and the stars. And here you can see this letter, and here you can see some numbers. When you are laying the tile, you put the tile in a way that the circle and the star match, and this is in the same orientation as the starting tile. Next tile, the same thing. So circle and stars match, and this has the same orientation as the other. Next time I'm placing a tile, let's say I'm placing a tile here, again, the same thing. The stars and circle match, this has the same orientation, and so on and so on. So I put this on side A and reveal the first two tiles. So we have tile number 1 here, which has a marauding orc, a magical glade, and a village. I'm going to talk about each of them in a second. And here we have marauding orc, a mine, a village, and a magical glade. So here you can see on your reference card, we have crystal mines. Its effect is mining. If you end your turn on a mine, gain 1 mana crystal of the color that the mine produces during it. Also see the magical glade. It has healing essence. If you end your turn on a magical glade, you can throw away 1 wound card from your hand or discard pile. This is not the same as healing, and the effect cannot be combined with other healing effects. It also has imbued with magic. If you start your turn on a magical glade during the day, you gain a gold mana token. If you start your turn on a magical glade during the night, you gain a black mana token. Here you can see the marauding orcs. It's a rampaging enemy. So when revealed, place a green orc enemy token face up on its space. Effect: no one can enter a space that is occupied by an orc enemy token. Orcs can be provoked into combat by a player who moves from one space adjacent to them to another space adjacent to them. Action: you can challenge orc from adjacent space as your action, and reward: if you defeat the orc, discard their token and gain +1 reputation. We also have village. You can see this icon here, that's the village icon. It means units with this icon can be recruited in the village. So recruiting units with the village icon can be recruited here. Healing: you can buy 1 point of healing for 3 influence here. Plundering: you can plunder a village during another player's turn. You can only plunder a village once between each of your turns. If you do, there are 2 cards and you get reputation -1. So marauding orc is revealed. We draw a random green enemy token, put them face up. We have the diggers there. We have the cursed hack here. So if I'm next to a marauding orc, I can challenge it to a combat, but I don't have to. If I move from one space adjacent to a marauding orc to another space adjacent to a marauding orc, I have to engage in a combat. As long as marauding orc is here, I can't move here. And if I defeat the marauding orc, I get the fame that is shown here, +1 reputation. Magical glade: if I end my turn here, I get to throw a wound from my hand or discard pile. If I'm starting my turn here, during day I start with a gold, during night I start with a black. Here if I end my turn on a mine, I get a crystal that the mine produces, so I end up with a green crystal in this case. And in the village, I can interact to recruit the unit that are in the village. I can interact to get heal for 3 influence. And if I'm starting my turn on a village, I can plunder the village, which means that there are 2 more cards in my hand and I lose 1 reputation. Alright, that's it. So now at the beginning of the game, I draw my starting hand. My hand limit is 5, so I draw 5 cards into my hand. I have concentration, threaten, mana draw, stamina, and swiftness. Now I get to choose the tactic. There are 6 day tactic and 6 night tactic in the game. You can see the number and the effect that they have. The higher the number, the stronger the effect, but whoever has the lower number will go first. So you can see early bird doesn't have any effect, you just go first. Rethink: if you are unhappy with your starting hand, you discard up to 3 of those cards. There are that many cards, and shuffle the discarded pile back to your deep deck. Mana Steel, I told you, you can use 1 mana from the source. In the case of Mana Steel, you get to keep a mana here and use them whenever you want. Planning, if you end your turn with 2 or more cards in your hand, you draw as if your hand limit is 1 higher. Great Start, you immediately draw 2 cards in your starting hand, and the right moment during the round, you announce you are taking another round immediately and you go before anybody else. So I have to choose one. I don't need the rethink. I don't think I need the Mana Steel. I think I go with Planning. So this will be my tactic for this round. I choose first, then the dummy choose. So you shuffle this, draw 1 out for dummy. I just want it easier to roll a die, so I'm just rolling a die for dummy 2. So dummy get the rethink. This tactic stays for the future round I can choose from. So here you can see dummy is 2, I'm 4, so dummy will be first. So we arrange this token to show that, so dummy will be first, then it will be me. I'm going to keep this planning here to show, to remember it. And we go to the game. So dummy is first. In dummy's turn, all you do is draw 3 cards. So I draw 1, 2, 3. Then you check the card if it matches any of the crystal here. If it did, you draw as many cards. So in this case, it's a red. It has 1 red crystal, so I draw 1. If it was blue, I would have drawn 2 more. If it was white or green, that was the end of dummy's turn. So now that's the end of dummy's turn. We go to my turn. So at the beginning of the game, you teleport to the portal and you start moving from here. It's not something common that can happen, but it does happen from time to time. If you don't move from the portal during your turn, you are teleported out of the game your next turn, so other players take their turn. Your next turn, you teleported back to the portal and you take your turn from there. So during your turn, you can optionally move and optionally do an action in that order. What does it mean? It means you can move and do an action. You can move and don't do an action. You can do an action and not move, but you are not allowed to do an action and then move. So the movement will always come first. So the movement is clear. You are just moving around the map. The action could be combat or interaction. I'm going to explain each of them later. How does movement work? Here you can see these numbers. This is the cost of moving into this kind of terrain. You can see these numbers here. So for plain is 2, hill 3, wasteland 4, swamp 5. For forest during day is 3, during night is 5. That's the small number that you can see. So if you flip it to the night side, you can see the forest will be 5. For desert is other way around. So during day is 5, during night is 3. You cannot move through or end your turn on lake or mountain unless you have a special ability that breaks that rule, and moving into city always costs 2. Exploring will also always cost 2. I talk about exploring later. What you do in your movement phase is generating enough movement points that let you move around the map. Let's say, for example, I'm here. I can play this card for move 2. This is a plane. I can spend 2 movement to move here. Or, for example, I can power up this card for move 4 and play this card for 2 movement. I use 3 of it to move to this hill, the other 3 to move to this forest. You can also always play cards sideways for 1 movement. For example, instead of playing this card for move 2, I could play this card and this card for 2 movement. So that would be move 4 plus 1 plus 1. That would be my move 6. I could have move 3 and 2. Other thing you can do during your movement phase is exploring the map. So for exploring the map, you have to be at the edge of it and have a legal place to place your time. So if you're at the edge of the map, for example, somewhere here or here, you can explore it next time. Let's say I'm here. I can spend 2 movement to explore the tile here or here. Let's say I decide to explore the tile here. So I just draw the next top tile and place the tile here. When you are placing a new tile, the new tile either has to be adjacent to 2 tile or it has to be adjacent to a tile that is adjacent to 2 tile. Which means I could explore the new tile here because this tile is adjacent to 2 tile. Or I could explore it here because this would be next to a tile that is adjacent to 2 tile. Let's say the game goes further. Now I'm here, I want to explore. Now I can't explore here or here anymore. Why? Because the next tile that I will be drawing won't be adjacent to 2 tile. And it's not adjacent to a tile that is adjacent to 2 tiles. It's only adjacent to 1 tile. So if I want to explore, I have to come here and exploring here. You're also not allowed to break the limitation of the map that the rulebook tells you. For example, since you are playing with wedge map, I can't explore here or here. Because in the wedge map, as the rulebook shows you, the map can expand this way or this way. If it was open map, again, you can see if it's limited to 3 or 4 column and so on. This was for the countryside tile. For the core tile, the rule is a little different. When you are exploring the core tile has to be adjacent to 2 tiles. Which means if the situation is here and I'm here, I can't explore the tile here because the new tile won't be adjacent to 2 tiles. The new tile always has to be adjacent to 2 tiles if it's a core tile. So I could explore it here. The other rule that only applies to the wedge map, not the open map, is that you cannot explore the core tile on the coastline. So this is the coastline, and this would be the coastline. You are not allowed to put the core tile on the coastline. So 2 more points about movement. In a multiplayer game, you are allowed to move through other player, but you are not allowed to end your turn there. If you do, that results in player versus player combat. I won't be explaining player versus player combat in this scenario, and I would recommend that in your early games, don't allow player versus player combat. After you are familiar enough with the game, it's just 1 page in the rulebook, you can read it, and it's not hard to understand if you already understand how the pattern works. But for now, let's talk about movement. So I am allowed to move through this player and move here and my turn here, but I'm not allowed to move here and end my turn here. Again, if I do, it results to player versus player combat. So if you want to end your turn there, it will be a player versus player combat. The last thing about movement, you have to always end your turn on a safe space. Safe space is a space that is not lake or mountain, and it's not an unconquered fortified site. I'm going to talk about fortified site later. For example, in the case of keep, when I explain it, it will make more sense. But if this keep is not conquered, you are not allowed to end your turn here unless you are attacking it and conquered it in the same turn. So again, you are not allowed to end your turn on mountain, lake, or an unconquered fortified site. There are some special card that lets you move through lake or mountain. If they do, that doesn't mean you are allowed to end your turn there. So again, some cards lets you move through lakes or mountain. It doesn't mean you are allowed to end your turn there. There are some cards that specifically tells you are allowed to move through lake or mountain and you are allowed to end your turn there. Then that changed the rule. But as a general rule, if a card lets you move through lake or mountain, that's not synonymous with being allowed to end your turn there. So again, safer space is a space that is not lake or mountain, it's not another player, and it's not a fortified site. You are not allowed to end your turn there. So during my turn, here's what I'm doing. I'm playing the stamina. I'm powering it up with this blue from the source. So that's going to give me move 4. It's day, so moving to this forest will be 3 movement. I can play more card to move more, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I just end my turn here. So that's the end of my turn. At the end of your turn, if you use any die, you reroll it, put it back in the source. So I have to reroll this. It's a gold. Any card that you use is discarded. You also have the option of discarding any non-wound card that you didn't play. So I have the option of discarding any of these if I want to, but I'm not going. Then I draw to my hand limit. My hand limit is 5, but my tactic is planning, and I did end up with 2 or more cards in my hand, so my hand limit is 1 higher. So I draw 2 more cards. So we have the March and Noble Knights. We go to dummies turn. Again, I draw 3 cards. It's a blue, 2 blues in dummies inventory, so 2 more will come off. And that's the end of dummies turn. So on my turn, I'm playing March. I'm powering it up with this green from the source. That's going to give me move 4. I'm using 2 of it to move here. I'm using 2 more to move here. I went from one adjacent space to another adjacent space from this marauding orc, so that immediately triggers a combat. Let's talk about combat. Let's say this is our hand. We are in combat with this Prowler, and we already have Autumn Crossbowman as our unit. Let's look at the Prowler first. Here you can see the shield value, which is 3. Here you can see the attack value, which is 4. Here you can see the fame that is granted to you if you defeat it. And some enemies also have some abilities here. In this case, we don't see any ability. Combat in Mage Knight has 4 phases: range and siege attack, block, signing damage, and attack. During range and siege attack phase, you try to generate range or siege attack equal or higher than the shield value of the enemy. If you succeed, the battle is immediately over. You don't go through the rest of it. If you don't, then you go to block phase. In the block phase, you try to generate block equal or more than the attack value of the enemy. If you manage to do that, you skip the signing damage phase, you simply go to attack phase. If you don't, you have to assign the damage from the attack. When you are blocking, block is all or nothing. Either you block all of it, or all of the damage goes through and you assign the damage from all of the attack. It's not like that. By blocking, you are reducing the damage. So you either block all of it, or you have to assign damage from all of the attack. And after that, you go to attack phase. You try to generate attack equal more or more than the shield value of the enemy. If you manage to do that, the enemy is defeated. So let's go through each of them one by one. As I said, let's say this is our hand, and I'm in combat with this one. I can simply play Swiftness, power it up with a white mana. That will give me range attack 3, that's equal to the shield value of the enemy. The battle is immediately over. I simply claim my reward. Now, let's say I didn't have access to white mana, or I didn't have this card. Or for whatever reason I wasn't using it. Then the enemy attacks me. It's attacking me 4. I have to block it 4 or more. Let's say, for example, I play this Determination, power it up with blue. That's going to give me block 5. That will completely block the enemy. Or other way would be, for example, I play Determination for 2 block, Rage for 2 block. Then the enemy is completely blocked. You can also play cards sideways during block phase for 1 block. For example, I can play Determination for 2 block, play March sideways for 1 block, and play Swiftness sideways. That's 4 block. If I can't or decide not to block the enemy, I have to assign the damage. Assigning damage works this way. So the attack goes through. You can see the attack value of the enemy, and you can see your shield value here. So what you do is that first, you get 1 wound in hand, reduce the attack value by your shield value. So that's 4 minus 2, 2 is left. You gain 1 more wound in hand, then reduce it again. It will be 0. Whenever it gets to 0 or lower than 0, all of the damage is assigned. You can also assign the damage to unit. It works the same way. So you wound your unit first, then reduce the attack by the shield value. In this case, 4 minus 4, all of the damage is assigned. If all of the damage is not assigned, the rest of the damage, either you take it in your hand, or if you have another unit, you can choose to assign it to that unit. If the unit is wounded, you cannot use it or assign it any more damage until it's healed. I'm going to talk about healing later. After that, you attack the enemy. In this phase, you can use any kind of attack as the attack. So I can use a range attack as normal attack, I can use this kind of attack, normal attack, or I can even play card side. For example, I can play Rage for 2 attack, play Mouse side ray, that would be 3 attack, that's enough to defeat them. So just to recap, during a range and siege attack phase, if you manage to defeat the enemy, the battle is over, otherwise you have to block the enemy. If you can block the enemy, you skip assigning damage. If you can't, you have to assign the damage either to yourself or to your unit. And after that, you can attack the enemy in any way that you want. You can play card side ray for blocking or attacking, but you can't play card side ray for range attack. Only for normal attack or normal attack. Now let's talk about some of the abilities. Here you can see the fortification. I talked about the range and siege attack phase, but I haven't talked about what's the difference between the range and siege attack. If an enemy is fortified, you cannot use a range attack during the range and siege attack phase. You can only use siege attack. Fortification can come from the enemy token. It can come also from the site. Mage tower, keep, and cities are fortified. We are going to see them later. So if enemy has this sign, it is fortified. Also, if enemy is in a fortified site, it is also considered fortified. So you cannot use a range attack during range and siege attack phase. You can only use siege attack in that phase. If it's a fortified enemy in a fortified site, you can't even use siege attack on it. So unless you have an ability that ignores the fortification, you simply skip the range and siege attack phase and immediately go to block phase. But the rest of the battle works the same. So you either block it or assign the damage, and in the attack phase you can use any kind of attack. You can use normal attack, range attack, you can play card side ray, and so on. Here you can see swiftness. If enemy has swiftness, for blocking it you need twice as much block. So if I manage to defeat it in the range attack phase, it's the same, it doesn't have any effect to swiftness. If I don't during block phase, if I want to block this enemy, I need to generate 6 block. If I decide not to block it, assigning damage works the same. I still need to assign only 3 points of damage, not 6. But for blocking it, I need twice as much block. Brutal is the opposite. If you don't block the enemy and you are just assigning the damage, you have to assign twice as much damage. So for example, if the enemy is attacking me, it's attacking me 5. If I want to block it, I only need 5 block, but if I decide not to block it, I won't be assigning 5 points of damage, but 10 points of damage. Here you can see poison. If an enemy has poison, for each wound you get in your hand, you get 1 wound in your discard pile. For example, if I decide not to block this one, it's going to be 3 points of damage. With my shield 2, I will be getting 2 wounds in my hand. I will also be getting 2 wounds in my discard. If you assign the damage from poison to a unit, your unit gets double wounded, so you put 2 wounds on the unit. That's the only way unit can get 2 wounds. Any other way, if a unit is already wounded, you cannot assign it damage anymore. Here you can see paralyze. If enemy has paralyzed, if you get any wound in your hand, you have to discard all the non-wound cards from your hand. So if I can't block this one and I'm assigning 6 points of damage, with my shield value is going to be 3 wound. Then I discard immediately all the non-wound cards from my hand, and then go to attack phase. In the attack phase, if I can manage to defeat it, I can still do it, for example, using my unit or my skill. But the cards that I had in my hand all discarded if an enemy with paralyzed attack. If you assign a damage to a unit from paralyzed, the unit is immediately destroyed, it's out of the game. Here you can see the summon. If enemy has summon, instead of his attack, you draw a token from the corresponding pile. You deal with attack that way. After that, you simply discard the token you draw and you go to attack phase normally. So let's say I'm in combat with this one. During a range and siege attack phase, if I can generate 4 range attack or siege attack, the battle is immediately over. I don't have to deal with this attack. So range attack work normal. Now let's say I couldn't. We go to the, for blocking and assigning damage, I simply draw the top one from here. I ignore whatever is here and here. I only look at the attack and if it has any ability. Then I either block this attack or assign the damage from it. After that, I simply discard this one, and I'm in the battle with this one again, so I need to generate enough attack to defeat this one. Let's talk about elements and resistances. Up until now, whatever attack we've seen, it was physical attack. The attack would also be fire attack, ice attack, or cold fire attack. If an enemy is attacking you with fire attack, only ice block and cold fire block are efficient. Any other kind of block is inefficient. What does it mean? It means its value will get halved. So if this enemy is attacking me with 6 fire attack, if I want to block it, I either have to generate 6 ice block or 6 cold fire block, or I have to generate twice as much block, so I have to generate 12 block. By definition, all the attacks and blocks that you have are physical unless specified otherwise. So if a block is ice block or fire block, it specifically says on the card. You can also mix and match. For example, let's say I have this card in my hand and I'm in combat with this one. I can play this for ice block 3, which is an efficient. Then I somehow generate 6 more block, which is inefficient. But it is still enough to block the enemy. So I'm getting attacked by 6 fire attack. I'm getting 3 ice block, which is efficient, and 6 normal block, which is inefficient, so it gets half, it becomes 3. In total, I had enough to block the enemy. If you couldn't block it or decided not to block it, assigning damage worked the same. So it's 6 fire attack, it's 6 points of damage, I assign 6 points of damage. That's it. Again, to recap, any kind of block is efficient against physical attack. Only ice block and cold fire block is efficient against fire attack. Only fire block and cold fire block is efficient against ice attack. And only cold fire block is efficient against cold fire attack. Any other kind of block is inefficient. Now let's talk about resistances. You can see these signs here. This is physical resistance, fire resistance, and ice resistance. It's possible for an enemy to have multiple resistance. For example, you can see physical and ice, physical and fire, and here ice and fire resistance. If enemy has a kind of resistance, that kind of attack becomes inefficient against it. For example, this enemy has physical resistance, so if I'm using physical attack, that attack becomes inefficient, which means it gets halved when you're applying it. What does it mean? If I'm attacking this one, I have to have either 3 fire attack, or 3 ice attack, or 3 cold fire attack, or I have to generate twice as much attack, which means in this case I'm going to need 6 physical attack. Again, just like blocking, you can mix and match. For example, if I have somehow 2 ice attack from somewhere, I can generate 2 ice attack plus 2 normal attack. The 2 normal attack is inefficient, it gets halved, so that would count as 1, and my 2 ice attack is inefficient, it's enough to defeat them. This works the same here, except that here this will be resistance against fire attack, this will be resistance against ice attack, and these will be resistance against both of these kind of attacks. The other thing to consider for the enemies with fire resistance and ice resistance are the non-attack, non-block effect. These are the effects, as the name suggests, are not attacking or blocking. For example, they simply stop the enemy from attacking, or they simply destroy the enemy. If that ability is powered by the red mana, you can't use it against enemy with fire resistance, and if it's powered with blue mana, you can't use it against enemy with ice resistance. Let's say, as an example, I have this spell in my hand, and I'm in combat with these fire mages. say I have access to red mana and I'm using the upper ability of it. What does it tell me? Fire block 4. If this card is used as a successful block, you may use it during attack phase as fire attack 4. So I can play it, I get fire block 4. It's inefficient, but it's still fire block 4. And if I do manage to block it completely by using more card, I will get fire attack 4. It's still inefficient, but it's still fire attack 4. Now let's get the bottom part. Let's say I'm using it during night and I have access to both of these now. What does it tell me? Fire block 4. If this card is used as a part of successful block, destroy the blocked enemy. So again, I can play it for fire block 4. It's inefficient, but it's still fire block 4. But if I do manage to block the enemy using more card, I can't use the next effect. Why? Because it's simply destroying the enemy. It's not attacking or blocking the enemy. It's going right ahead and destroying the enemy, and since it's powered with the red mana, I can't use it against an enemy with fire resistance. The units can have resistance too. For example, in this case, you can see Guardian Golem has physical resistance. If a unit has a kind of resistance and it's being assigned that kind of damage, assigning damage works a little differently. So it has physical resistance, which means if it's being assigned damage from fire attack or ice attack or cold fire attack, it works normally. But if it's being assigned damage from a physical attack, it works a little differently. Let's say I'm being attacked by this digger, it's attacking me 3. If I'm assigning damage to Utem Crossbowman, I have to wound them first. Then I reduce the attack by their shield value. Then I check if all of the damage is assigned or not. But if I'm assigning damage to Guardian Golem, first I reduce the attack, so I reduce the 3 by 3 because it has physical resistance and it's physical attack. Then if it's any damage left, then I wound the unit and reduce it again. So in this case, if I assign this damage to this unit, all of the damage gets assigned to the unit without wounding it. But if I was being attacked by this one, so first I assign the damage to Golem, so I reduce the damage by 3, there's still 1 left, then I wound them, and reduce the damage again by 3, so all of the damage is assigned. Now it's a good time to talk about 2 things. First thing is that if you're assigning a damage to a unit, you have to keep assigning the damage until either all of the damage is assigned or the unit is wounded. What does it mean? For example, in this case, I can't say I'm assigning 3 of the damage to the golems. For the rest of the one that is left, I get 1 wound in my hand. No. When I start assigning the damage to golems, I have to assign it either until all of the damage is assigned or until the golems are wounded. The other point is that when you start assigning damage to your hero, you have to keep assigning the rest of the damage to your hero. You can't go back and assign the damage to your unit again. What does it mean? Let's go back to this Prowler again. So it's attacking me 4. I can't say I'm assigning the first point of damage to myself, so I get 1 wound in my hand. 2 of the damage is left. I assign the rest of the damage to Guardian Golems. No. When I start assigning damage to myself, all of the damage goes to myself. So if I start assigning damage from this one, I get 1 wound in my hand and another wound, then all of the damage is. You can see a list of the offensive and defensive ability of the unit at the end of the rulebook, whether you have the base game, which looks like this, or if you have the Ultimate Edition. The last page of the rulebook has a list of the offensive and defensive abilities of the enemies. Now, let's talk about combat with multiple enemies. When you're dealing with more than one enemy, you deal with each of their attack individually. What does it mean? For this one, I can decide if I want to assign the damage from this 3 attack or block it. And for this one, I decide again if I want to block it or assign the damage. But I can't group the attack together if I'm blocking it. For example, I cannot say this is 4 attack, this is 3 attack. I'm generating, for example, 7 point of block, both of the enemies are blocked. No, that does not work in this way for the blocking. For blocking, each attack has to be blocked individually. Which means if I want to block both of them, let's say I play 5 block here, which means the extra block that I have is wasted, I don't get it. And for this one, let's say I do 2 block from here, 1 more block from here, that enemy is also. So if I want to block them, you have to block them one by one. The same applies for assigning damage. So for example, if I'm being attacked by both of these and I decided to block neither, I won't be going and saying, oh, it's 4 and 4, it's 8 points of damage, my shield value is 3, so it will be 3 wounds. No, first I assign damage from this attack, so it's 4 damage. My shield value is 3, so it's going to be 2 wounds. Then I assign damage from this attack, again 2 wounds. So in total will be 4 wounds. When you are attacking them though, you can group them and attack them, which means I can generate 6 points of damage and defeat both of them. For example, I can play this for 4 attack, then play this for 2 more attack, that's 6 points of attack, and they together have 6 points of armor, both of them are defeated. What's the benefit here? The extra attack that you have in this case is not lost. If I was attacking them individually, this would have been 4 attack, I would have assigned to one of them, the extra attack would have been lost, then I would have had, for example, 2 attack plus 1 here I should have done. So for blocking, you can't group the enemy together, but for attacking them, you can group them. One caveat about grouping the enemies together though, if one of the enemies in that group has a kind of resistance, that kind of attack will become inefficient against all the enemies in that group. So let's say I'm in combat with both of these. If I'm grouping them and attacking them, my physical attack will become inefficient against both of them. If I'm attacking them individually, for example, let's say I'm generating 6 attack for this one, I'm generating 3 attack for this one, that works normally. But if I am grouping them the way I did in the last case, my physical attack will become inefficient against both of them. If during the combat you get as many wounds as your unmodified hand limit, you get knocked out. So if you go to combat already with wound in your hand, that wound doesn't count. For getting knocked out, only the wounds that you get during the combat count. So let's say I go to the combat, for whatever reason, I get 5 or more wound, then I get knocked out. If you get knocked out, you have to discard all the non-wound cards from your hand, and you go from there. We've talked about combat and how you can get wounds in combat. What's the point of wounds? Wounds are just dead cards. They just clog your hand, and they stay in your hand. You can't play them, you can't discard them unless you have an ability that says otherwise. So they just stay in your hand. This time you, for example, play like 2 or 3 cards. Next time you're drawing to your hand limit. These 2 count as your hand limit, and you're drawing only that many more cards. They will just make your turns less efficient. How can you deal with the wound? The easiest way is healing. So you have healing ability during the game. For each point of healing, you can heal 1 wound from your hand. For example, I can play this card for heal 1 and heal 1 wound from my hand. Or I can play this card, power it up with green mana for heal 2, heal both of these from my hand. If a unit is wounded, you cannot use the unit and you cannot assign any more damage to it until the unit is healed. For healing the unit, you need healing point equal to the level of the unit. For example, this unit is level 2. If I want to heal it, I'm going to need 2 points of healing. If it was level 1, then only 1 point of healing, level 3, 3 points, and so on and so forth. Other thing you can do is resting. When you rest, you discard at least 1 non-wound card from your hand and as many wound cards as you want. For example, I can discard 1 non-wound card and, for example, 2 wound cards or 3 wound cards. And that's all you do for the turn. So when you rest, you can't move and you can't do an action. You can still do a special and healing effect, but you cannot move and you cannot do an action. That's all you do in that turn when you rest. When you rest, the wounds are not healed. They just go to your discard pile. Which means at the end of the round, when your deck gets shuffled, these wounds get shuffled back into your deck. If you don't have any non-wound card in your hand, you have to do a slow recovery. What's a slow recovery? All you do is discard 1 wound from your hand. That's all you do from the turn. Then you draw to your hand limit. If you have any non-wound card next turn, you can do a normal rest. So I'm engaging combat with this one. You can see it has 5 shield. Attack value is 3. It has poison, so for any wound I get in my hand, I get 1 wound in my discard pile. And it gives me 3 fame if I defeat it. So here's what I'm doing. I'm using mana draw. What does it tell me? You can use 1 additional mana die from the source. I already use 1 mana. Mana draw lets me use 1 more mana from the source. So I'm going to use this gold from the source. I'm playing concentration. I'm powering it up with this gold. It's day. I can use gold as any basic color, so I can use it as green. What does it tell me when I power it up? When you play this card, play another action card with it. Get the stronger effect of that card for free. If that effect gives you move, influence, block, or any type of attack, get that amount plus 2. So I have to play another card with it. I'm playing swiftness with it. So the stronger effect of swiftness is range attack 3. I get it plus 2. It will become range attack 5. So just to be clear, I'm not adding to the range attack. I'm not playing, for example, cards sideways to add to the range attack. You are not allowed to play cards sideways for range attack. Only for normal attack you can play cards sideways. But that's not what I'm doing. I'm playing the swiftness with this concentration. It gives me any kind of attack, so also range attack, get plus 2. So I'm getting range attack 5. That's enough to defeat the enemy in the range attack. That's the end of battle. The battle immediately ends. I don't have to go through the rest of it. I don't have to go through block, assigning damage, and the rest of it. So that's the end of the battle. I get 3 fame. So I go from 0 to 3. I cross the line, which means I'm going to level up at the end of my turn. I'm going to talk about leveling up in a second. I also get 1 reputation. And now I need to clean up my play area. So the enemy that I defeated goes away. I have to reroll the dice that I used. So we have a blue and a red. All the cards that I use will go away. I have the option of discarding any of these. I'm not going to. And now at the end of my turn, I level up. On level up, you can see different signs. There are 2 kinds of level up. In this kind of level up, you get an advanced action card and the skill. So let's talk about the skill first. For the skill, you draw 2 skills and choose one of them. So let's check our reference. We have Lives in the Wind. Once around, flip this to gain 1 green crystal to your inventory and gain 1 mana token. We have Day Sharpshooting. Once a turn, range attack 2 during day or range attack 1 during night. So I can choose one of these. So this one is once a turn. I can use it every turn. This one is once a round. So when I use it, I flip it. I get whatever benefit it has. It stays face down until the end of the round. I flip it back. I can use it again next. So I have to choose one of these. I think I go with the shooting. So the skill that you don't get goes into the common skill area. I'm going to talk about common skill area later. What's it for? In the solo game, you also add one of Dummy's skill to the common skill area. So we draw one of these, add them to the common skill area. So what do we have from Dummy? We have resistance break. Once a turn, choose an enemy token. It gets armor -1 for each resistance to minimum of 1. So that also goes to the common skill area. I'm going to talk about common skill area later. What it is. I also get an advanced action card. I can choose whichever I want. I think I go with Blood Ritual. It's just a teaching game, it doesn't matter that much. So whenever you get a card, every other card shifts down and you reveal a new card. We have Intimidate. As you have noticed, I put the card that I just got on top of my deed deck. Whenever you get a new card, it goes on top of your deed deck, which means next time you draw a card, you will be drawing that card in your hand. Alright, so I draw to my hand limit again. Again, I ended up with 2 or more cards in my hand, so my hand limit is 1 higher, so I draw 6 cards. I have Crystallize, Blood Ritual, Rejuvenate, and Determination. We go to Dummy's turn. Again, I reveal 3 cards. It's a green, no green in Dummy's inventory. That's the end of Dummy's turn. We go back to my turn. So, I'm in the village. I can interact in the village. In order to interact, you have to be at the place where you can interact, which is village, keep, mage tower, monastery, and city. Expansion adds some other stuff too, but for the base game, these are the only places. When interacting, you can try to recruit the unit that are available in that place. You can also do the site-specific action. For example, let's say we are in the village and we are interacting. You can see the village icon here, so the unit that are available in the village can be recruited here, which will be the Utem Crossbowman and Forester, but I cannot recruit the Northern Monks here. I can also spend 3 influence for healing. I get to that later. Let's try to do a simple. When interacting, you need to generate enough influence to get what you want, modified by your reputation. Let's say our reputation is 0, I'm in a village, and I plan to get Utem Crossbow. So I play this Threaten, I power it up with a red to get 5 influence, and you can always play card Sideway for 1 influence. So I play, let's say, March Sideway. It's going to give me 1 more influence. For Utem Crossbowman, I need 6 influence. My reputation is 0, so I can get the Utem Crossbowman. If my reputation, for example, was here, I would have needed only 4 influence, because I have +2 and I needed 6. Also other way around, if it was -2, I would have needed 8. If your reputation is here, you are not allowed to interact. You can also try to get multiple stuff in one interaction. Let's say I have 2 command token free and I want to recruit both of them and my reputation is +3. When you are getting multiple stuff, your reputation counts only once. Whether it's a benefit or a penalty, it doesn't matter, it only counts once. So let's say I have +3 here. I'm planning to recruit both of these, which means I'm going to need 11 influence, and I have +3 from here. So I need to get 8 influence. So let's say I play Threaten for 5 influence, and I play 3 cards Sideway. That's going to give me 8 influence, +3, 11. That's enough to get me both of these units. You can also do different kind of interaction in one turn. So let's say I have 1 wound in my hand. I'm planning to heal this wound in the village for 3 influence. And I also want to get Utem Crossbowman. So let's say I play Threaten, get influence 5, play March Sideway, get influence 6. I have +3 here, so in total I have influence 9. I'm using 6 of it to get Utem Crossbowman. I'm using the other 3 to heal 1 wound. Again, in this case, your reputation count only once. I didn't get +3 for Utem Crossbowman, another +3 for healing wound. No, all of it count only once. So I'm going to interact here. I'm going to play Noble Manners. I'm going to power up with this white. What does it tell me? Influence 4, fame +1, reputation +1 if you use this during interaction. I'm also going to play Threaten with it. That's going to give me influence 2, so I will have influence 4 plus influence 2. That's giving me influence 6. My reputation is 0, so if I want to get the Utem Crossbowman, I'm going to need 6 influence. I have 6 influence, so that's enough to get me the Utem Crossbowman. So that's my interaction. I can play still a special effect and healing effect. So I'm going to play Blood Ritual. What does it tell me? Take a wound, gain a red crystal to your inventory, and the mana token of any kind. So I'm going to get a red crystal to my inventory and the mana token of any color. I'm going to get a blue mana token, and I'm going to get a wound. Now I'm going to use this blue one, crystallize. What does it tell me? Gain a crystal of any color to your inventory. I'm going to get a blue crystal to my inventory. So these two cards are played. I'm also going to play Rejuvenate. It's going to give me heal 1. I'm not in the combat, I can't heal, so I'm healing this one wound. And that's the end of my turn. So again, I'm going to clean up my play area. Any mana and crystal I use will go away. I have to reroll this die. It's a red. Any card that I use will go away. I also get the benefit of Noble Mana, so it's a stronger effect. What does it tell me? Fame +1 and Influence plus and Reputation +1 if I use it during interaction. Now I draw to my hand limit. We have Rage, Improvisation, March, and other Rage. We go back to dumpster. So 1, 2, 3. It's green again. No green in Dummy's inventory. That's the end of Dummy's turn. I'm playing Improvisation. What does it tell me? Discard another card from your hand to get move 3, influence 3, attack 3, or block 3, or I can power it up to get that for 5. I'm going to power it up with red from the source. I'm going to discard another card with it to get move 5. So I'm at the edge of the map. I can explore here, so I'm spending 2 of that 5 movement to explore here. So we have a village, a white mine, and a keep. I also get 1 reputation for 1 fame for exploring a special rule of this scenario. Here you can see the keep. It's a fortified site, so the enemies that are in the keep are fortified. So if you engage in a combat with them, you can only use siege attack during a range and siege attack phase. You can't use range attack during a range and siege attack phase. You can also see the keep icon here. So when revealed, place a gray enemy token face down on this space. This token is revealed during the day if a player is adjacent to it. Unconquered keep can be assaulted and you get reputation -1. The defending enemies are fortified. If you successfully assaulted, mark it with a shield token. You now own that keep. Other players' keep can be assaulted and you get reputation -1. If the owner is not present, there are a random gray enemy token as the defender. They are fortified. If successful, you get half the fame rounded up for defeating the defender and you replace the owner's shield token with one of your. Your keep, you can recruit unit with the keep icon here. If you end your turn on or adjacent to a keep you own, your hand limit is 1 higher for each keep that you own. So we have a keep. We put this here face down. During day, if I get next to it, this is revealed. During night, it doesn't get revealed until I assault it. If I move to it, it's going to consider assaulting the fortified site. I immediately lose 1 reputation. I have to engage in combat with this. If I do manage to defeat whatever is here, I mark it with my shield. Then this is my keep. I can start interacting in here. In a multiplayer game, other players can come and attack your keep, try to get it from you. If you are there, it will result in a player versus player combat. If you are not there, they draw a random gray one. If they manage to defeat it, they get half the fame and they replace their your shield token with it. So as I said, the benefit of having the keep is that you can interact in the keep that you own. The other thing is for any keep that you own, as long as you are on or adjacent to the keep, your hand limit is 1 higher. So let's say I assault this keep, I manage to conquer it. As long as I'm on or next to it, my hand limit will be 1 higher. Let's say the game goes on, there is another keep here, I also assault it and conquer it. Now I have 2 keep. As long as I'm next to or on any of these keep, my hand limit is 2 higher now, and so on and so forth. One last rule for the keep, this actually applies to all fortified sites. So far we have seen only keep, but we'll see more as the game goes on. This rule applies to all of them. So as I said before, when you move to the space of the keep, it counts as assault, you lose 1 reputation, you have to engage in combat, and so on and so forth. If you manage to defeat it, you mark it with the shield token, and now you own it. If you don't manage to defeat it, the enemy stays there, and you have to withdraw to the space that you attacked from. So if I move from here to here and don't manage to defeat it, at the end of my turn, I withdraw here. That's totally fine, no problem. I just went there, couldn't defeat it, and come back. But if for some reason I can't end my turn here, let's say the situation was like this. There is a multiplayer game, there is another player here. I am allowed to move through another player, so I move through another player, attack the keep. Don't manage to defeat the enemy, which means I have to withdraw. But I'm not allowed to end my turn where another player is standing, which means I have to withdraw 1 more. This extra withdrawal is called force withdrawal. For each force withdrawal, you have to take 1 wound in your hand. So again, the first withdrawal is free, so if this wasn't the situation, I come back here, no problem. But any extra withdrawal is a force withdrawal, you have to take 1 wound from your hand. So if this was the situation, I attack here, couldn't defeat it, I move back to the space I attacked from, can't end my turn here, I have to move back once more and get 1 wound for each extra space that I have to move back. Another way this can happen are the cards that let you move through mountain or lake but don't let you end your turn there. So let's say I'm here, I have a special card that lets me move through mountain. So I move through this and then this. If I don't manage to defeat it, I have to come back here, but I'm not allowed to end my turn here. So I have to move another space back, so I take 1 wound in my hand and then move 1 more. Alright, I use 2 of the movement to explore. I have 3 more movement left. I'm using 2 of it to get here. And I guess I use this march as well to move 2 more. So that's going to get me here. So I had 5 movement plus 2, 7 movement. 2 of it I used to explore. 2 more to get here and 3 more to get here. Now I'm next to this keep. I can reveal what's under it. We have the Utem Castle. Now is a good time to talk about other thing in the game. You can always take your decision back as long as no new information is there. Let's say I'm still here, I'm deciding what to do with my 3 movement. Let's say with my 3 movement I decided to come here. Then I think, you know what, I wouldn't have come here. I would have used that 3 movement to come here instead. That's totally fine. But when I come here and I reveal this one, now a new information is revealed. I can't take that decision back anymore and say, oh, I would have gone here. Once a new information is revealed, you can't take your decision back. So the decision that you made could be which direction you move. It could be that you play the card without mana and you wish you used it with mana, or other way around. You played it with mana and you are thinking, oh, I would have used that mana somewhere else. Whatever that decision is, whenever you reveal a new information, you can't take that decision back. Alright, that's the end of my turn. I'm going to clean up my play area, so I'm rerolling this. It's still red. And I draw to my hand limit. We have swiftness and march. My hand limit would have been 6, but I'm out of cards, so that's it. Dummy's turn. We draw 3 cards. It only has 1 left, so that's the end of Dummy's turn. We go to my turn. So here's what I'm doing. I'm playing the stamina and powering it up with this blue from the source. That's going to give me move 4. This is a heal. It only needs move 3, so I use 3 of that movement to move here. That's an assault on the keep. I immediately lose 1 reputation, and I have to engage in combat with this Utem crossbow. So they're fortified. They have 4 shield, 4 attack, swiftness, and they give me 3 fame if I defeat. I don't have any siege attack, so since they're fortified, I can't do anything in the range and siege attack phase, so we go to block phase. They're attacking me 4, but they have swiftness. If I want to block them, I have to block them 8. So I'm playing Determination. I'm powering it up with this blue from my inventory, so I burn this crystal to get a blue mana. I'm getting block 5. I'm also using my Utem Crossbowman to get 3 more block. That's block 8. Even with their swiftness, they are fully blocked. I don't have to block anymore. Since they are blocked, I don't have to assign any damage. Now we go to attack phase. In attack phase, I'm playing Rage for attack 2. I'm using my Day Sharpshooting for 2 more attack. That's attack 4. That's enough to defeat them. You can use a range attack during melee phase. You can't use it other way around. You can use melee phase for range attack, but you can use range attack for normal attack. So that's attack 2 plus 2 attack. That's attack 4. That's enough to defeat the Utem Crossbow. So I get 3 fame. I go from 5 to 8. Enemies discarded. The crystal that I use will go away. I have to roll this. It is a still red. I get this skill back because it's once a turn. All the cards that are used are discarded. And that's it. Now I cross this line, which means at the end of my turn I level up. This kind of level up is easy. All you do is you take the top level token up and you flip it. So what it does is that it gives you extra command token, so I can have 1 more unit. And it also increases either your shield or your hand limit. In this case, it raised our shield from 2 to 3. Alright, we go to Dummy's turn. In Dummy's turn, if Dummy doesn't, at the beginning of its turn, doesn't have any card to draw, it announces end of the round. So Dummy announces end of the round. Whenever any player announces end of the round, including Dummy, all players have 1 more turn and the round is over. So in a multiplayer game, if your deed deck is empty, you are allowed to announce end of the round, but you don't have to. But if your deed deck is empty and you don't have any non-wound card in your hand, you have to announce end of the round. It's not a choice anymore. Alright, we go back to my turn. I only have this swiftness in my hand. I played for move 2. I'm here, I can explore. I'm going to explore here. So we have the village, a marauding orc, and the mage tower. So I get 1 fame for exploring. By the way, I should have marked this keep to show that I conquered it. We have the Mage Tower here. Again, it's a fortified site. You can also see this sign here. This is the icon for the Mage Tower, so units with this icon can be recruited here. So when we will place a violet enemy token face down on the space, the token is revealed during day if a player is adjacent to it. While unconquered can be assaulted, and you get reputation -1, the defending enemy is fortified. If successfully assaulted, mark it with a shield token and gain a spell as your reward. While conquered, any player can recruit units and buy a spell here. Spells can be bought for 7 influence plus a mana that is the same color as the spell being bought. So we have the Mage Tower, put this here, we put this face up here. For the Melodic Orc, we have the Prowler. The Mage Tower stays face down during day. So if I had more movement, I could have moved here and revealed this, but I don't have any more movement. So during day, if you are next to it, you reveal what's under it. During night, you don't see what's under it until you attack it. So when you attack it, you lose 1 reputation, and you engage in a combat with this one. If you manage to defeat it, you get one of these spells and mark it with your shield. The Mage Tower is not like cheap. Any player can interact in a Mage Tower that is conquered. So in a multiplayer game, if I conquer this and I'm not here anymore, any other player can come interact here without conquering the Mage Tower. As your interaction, you can get the units that are available in Mage Tower. You can also spend 7 influence plus the mana of the same color as the spell to get that spell. For example, if I want this one, I spend 7 influence and a blue mana to get this spell. Alright, that's the end of my turn. So this card is discarded, and that's the end of the round. So what happens at the end of the round? You refresh all of your unit before the next round. If you have a skill that is flipped, let's say I had this skill instead of this and it was flipped, now I would have flipped it back for the next round. But right now I don't have any of those skills. You shuffle your deep deck. Dummy get the last card in the advanced action offer. That's why the order of it matters. Dummy also gets a crystal the same color as the last spell. So in this case, we give Dummy a green crystal. So this card goes away. Then we shift this down. We reveal a new advanced action card and a new spell. So we have Crushing Bolt and the Underground Trap. We also refresh the units, so these units will go away. We reveal 3 new units. So we have Guardian Golems, Autumn Guardsmen, and the Scots. Oh, one thing I should have mentioned before revealing these units. When you want to refresh the units, you check if there is any core tile revealed or not. If there is, you alternate between drawing elite units and normal units, starting with elite units. So in this case, it would have been elite, normal, elite. But at the beginning of this round, there is no core tile revealed. Even if there was, in this particular scenario, we don't have elite units anywhere, so it would have been all normal units. Also, reroll the source. This goes to the right side. A white, a red, and a green that is allowed. You also need to shuffle the dummy's deck. So I'm drawing my starting hand. We have Determination, Rage, Stamina, Swiftness, Improvisation. My hand limit is 5. But I'm on my keep, so my hand limit is 1 higher. So I draw 1 more card in my hand. We have Noble Manas. I need to choose a tactic now. The night tactic was the same as the day tactic, so they have a number and the effect, and whoever has a lower number go first. Long night, once your deep deck is empty, you shuffle your discard pile, put 3 cards in your deep deck, and you can draw them and play them during that night. Mana Surge, once a turn before you use any die from the source, you can reroll up to 2 mana die in the source. Midnight Meditation, once during the round, if you are not happy with your hand, you can discard up to 5 cards and shuffle them in your deep deck. and draw that many cards in your hand. Preparation, you go through your deep deck, choose one card, put it in your hand, and sparing power. Before your turn, you choose to put a card under here, or draw all the cards that is under here. So let's say on my first turn, there's nothing under it, I put one card here. Then I play my turn, it goes ahead. Then next turn, on turn 2, I put another card here. On turn 3, I can choose again. Do I want to get these 2 cards in my hand or put another card here? Let's say I put another card here. On turn 4, I decide to get all of these cards in my hand. I draw them, put them in my hand. I think they were in this order. I don't know. I think they were in this order here. So I need to choose a tactic. I think I go with mana search. I don't have that many mana, and the source can go bad during the night. So I'm just gonna go with mana search. So I choose a tactic for dummy. 6. So the dummy gets sparing power. Again, these are in the game. These 2 are for these found. And that's it. So I have number 3, dummy has number 6. So we rearrange these to show that. These 2 tactics that dummy and I took last turn are out of the game. And these will be our tactics. Alright, I'm playing Noble Manners. I'm powering it up with this white from the source. That's going to give me influence 4. I'm playing Improvisation. I'm going to discard... I think I discard Stamina with it. I'm going to get influence 3 from Improvisation. That's going to give me influence 3 plus 4. That's going to give me influence 7. My reputation is 0, so I'm going to need 7 influence to get Guardian Golem. They can be recruited in the keep. So I recruit the Guardian Golems, and that's it. So end of my turn. I use the stronger effect of Noble Manner. I get Fame plus 1, Reputation plus 1. I have to clean up my play area. This is blue. I draw to my hand limit. Again, I'm still on my keep, so my hand limit is 6. We have Threaten, Rage, and March. We go to Dumpster. So we draw 3 cards. It's a red, 1 red in Dummy's inventory, so 1 more red. We go back to my turn. Beginning of my turn, I can use Mana Surge. I don't think I'm going to. I'm happy with this. So here's what I'm doing. I'm playing March. I'm powering it up with this green from the source. That's going to give me move 4. I'm using 2 of it to move here. Since it's night, even though I'm next to this, I can't see what's under here. I have 2 more movement left. I'm going to use it to explore here. So we have a monastery, a magical glade, a marauding orc, and the blue mine. We have the monastery. You can see the monastery icon here. Recruiting units with the monastery icon can be recruited here. Healing, you can buy 1 point of healing for 2 influence here. Training, when a monastery is revealed, put the top card of the advanced action deck face up in the unit offer. Advanced action in the unit offer can be bought at any monastery for 6 influence. You can also burn a monastery, so burning a monastery, you can try to burn a monastery as your action for the turn. If you do, you get reputation -3, draw a random violet enemy token to fight. Your unit cannot be used in this combat. If you defeat the enemy, mark the space with a shield token and get an artifact as your reward. The monastery is now destroyed. Whether you defeat the enemy or not, discard it after all. Next time, a new token will be drawn. So we have the marauding orc. I'm going to put this here face up. We have the Orc Summoner. We have a Monastery, so we take an advanced action card and put it here. So, the Monastery, you can interact in the Monastery to get the units that are available in the Monastery. You can interact in Monastery and pay 6 influence to get this card. You can also interact in the Monastery and pay 2 influence to heal. Other thing you can do in Monastery is trying to burn down the Monastery. If you try to do that, you lose 3 reputation, draw a random violet enemy one. If you manage to defeat it, you get an artifact. Whether you manage to defeat it or not, you will still lose the 3 reputation and the enemy will go away. Next time somebody else tries to burn down the Monastery, they draw a new one. I also explored, I get 1 reputation. Can go in the Mage Tower now, but I think I just end my turn right now and don't do anything. So, I'm ending my turn, I'm rerolling this die. It's a white. This goes away. I draw to my hand limit, which is 5, but I'm still next to my keep, so it's going to be 6. We have the crystals. We go to Dumpster, so draw 3 cards. It's a blue, 2 blue in Dummy's inventory, so 2 more will come off. We go back to my turn. Before I do anything, I'm plundering the village, so I lose 1 reputation and draw 2 cards in my hand. We have the Blood Ritual and Concentration. So here's what I'm doing. I'm playing Swiftness for move 2. I'm playing Crystallize Sideway for 1 move. That's going to give me move 3. So this is a desert during night. I'm going to only need 3 movement to get there, so I'm moving to this Mage Tower. I'm assaulting the Mage Tower, I lose 1 reputation. Now, you can see this one is next to it. So right now I have to engage in a combat with this one. I'm going to do that in a second, but before I explain that, you can see I'm next to it. If I was moving from here to here, it means I'm going from one place adjacent to this one to another place adjacent to this, which means I have to engage in a combat with this one at the same time. So if I move from here to here, I have to engage in combat with both of them at the same time. Right now I'm moving from here to here. In this case, I have the option of bringing this one in, but I don't have to. If I do choose to bring it in, I have to choose it before revealing this one and deciding if I want to bring it on. So right now, before I see this one, while moving here, I can choose to bring this one. In the day, it doesn't matter that much because you have no new information because this is already flipped face. But since it's night, I have to decide now if I want to bring it or not. I think I will bring it. I have like 6 cards in my hand, 2 ready units. I should be fine. So I'm bringing this one in as well. So let's see what we have. We have this one. Oh, and we have the ice cup. All right. So the Prowler has 3 shield, 4 attack. It gives you 2 fame and doesn't have any ability. Ice Golem has 4 shield, ice resistance and physical resistance, which means if I have a fire attack or cold fire attack, I need 4 attack. Other attack are inefficient, so I'm going to need 8 attack. It's going to attack me with 2 ice attacks, so I'm going to need either 4 normal attack or 4. Sorry, I'm going to either need 4 normal block or 4 ice block to block it, or 2 fire block or 2 cold fire. It has paralyzed, which means if I get any wound in my hand, I have to discard all of the non-wound cards. If any of my unit get wounded, they get destroyed, they get disbanded, and it gives me 5 pain if I defeat it. So let's say what I'm doing. So this one is fortified, this one isn't. So here's what I'm doing. I'm playing my Utem class 4-man for range attack 2. I'm using my base sharpshooting for 1 more range attack since it's knife. That's going to give me range attack 3. That's going to defeat this one in the range and siege attack. Now we have to deal with this one. I don't have enough siege attack to defeat this one. It was fortified since it was in a mage tower. So it's going to attack me with 2 ice attack. I'm going to use my Guardian Golems for block 2. I'm playing my determination for 2 more blocks. That's block 4. So block 2, block 2, block 4. It's inefficient, but it's enough to block the ice golems. Now I'm playing Blood Ritual. I get a crystal, a red crystal, a wound, and a mana of any color. I'm going to get a red mana. I'm using that red mana with this rage. It's going to give me attack 4. I'm playing my other rage with this red from the source. That's going to give me 4 more attack. That's 8 physical attack. This one has physical resistance, so my physical attack is not efficient, so it will get half. So I have 4 physical attack plus 4 physical attack. That's enough to defeat them still. Again, the attack is not efficient, but since I'm doing 8 attack instead of 4, that's enough to defeat them. So just to recap, I moved to the Mage Tower, I lost the reputation, I decided to bring this one in before I engage in combat. This one I did 2 range attack from here, 1 range attack from here, that's range attack 3. This one I blocked 2 from here, blocked 2 from here, blocked 4, it's inefficient, but I did 4 blocks for 2 attack, that's enough. Since I blocked the enemy, I don't assign any damage. Then I played Blood Ritual, I gained 1 wound, 1 red crystal, and 1 red mana. So I use 1 of the red mana here for attack 4. I use this red from the source for attack 4. That's attack 8. Again, it's inefficient because of physical resistance, but that's enough to defeat the enemy with 4 armor. Alright, I need to clean up my play area. I reroll this. It's still white. These are all discarded. The wound stays in my hand. I get this one back. I get 5 fame plus 2 fame, so I get 7 fame. I go from 11 to 18. I cross the line, which means I'm going to level up at the end of my turn. I'm here, by the way. I defeated a marauding orc, so I get 1 reputation back. These 2 are discarded. I have to mark the Mage Tower I conquered. And these stay in my hand. Alright, as my reward I get a spell. I was going for this one. Now that I'm looking at this, I like this one a little more. Yeah, I think I go with Underground Travel. So, see it, I draw. The next one is Cure Disease. And now I level up. So again, I draw 2 skill and choose 1. So we have Bright Negotiation, once a turn influence 3 during day or influence 2 during night. Or I can have Bond of Loyalty. When you gain a skill, add 2 regular units to the unit offer. Put this skill in the unit area as command token. It costs 5 less influence, minimum 0 to recruit a unit under the command token. This unit can be used even when the use of the skill would normally be allowed. You cannot disband this unit. So now is the time to talk about the common skill area. So when you draw these two, now you have the choice of choosing one of these skill and one of these 3 cards. Or if you are unhappy with both of these, you can get a skill from common skill area from other players. So I can't get this one, but I am allowed to get this one. But if I do that, I have to take the last one. So again, I can either get one of these two or choose whichever card I want, or I can get a skill from common skill area from another player, but then I have to take the last. So I think I will go with Bonds of Loyalty. So I can use it as extra command token. So this goes to the common skill area. We add one of dummies to the common skill area. It's Shield Mastery, once a turn Black 3, Ice Black 2, or Fire Black 2. So since I chose this one, we immediately add 2 units to the unit offer. We have the Herbalist and Autumn Swords. I also get an advanced action card. I think I go with the Crushing Bolt. And that's it. So the new one is Mana Stone. So I draw to my hand limit, which is 5 again because I'm not next to my chip anymore. So we have Crushing Bolt and Underground. We go back to Dummy's turn. So 1, 2, 3. It's a white, no white in Dummy's inventory. That's the end of Dummy's turn. Beginning of my turn, I'm going to do the mana search. I'm going to roll both of these whites. They are still white. I can get to 7 influence to get one of these spells, but I don't have any blue then. Oh, I will have the blue. I can get the Snowstorm. Or Expose. I can get one of the ones from this. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. So, here's what I'm doing. I'm playing Crushing Bolt. For its basic effect, it gives me a green crystal. So I get a crystal in my inventory. I'm using the green crystal immediately on concentration. I play another card with it, gets its effect +2, so I'm getting influence 5 +2, I'm going to get influence 7. I'm in the Mage Tower, I can pay 7 influence plus the mana of the same color to get a spell, so I'm paying 7 influence plus this blue mana from the source. I haven't used any mana from the source yet. That's going to let me get the Snowstorm. So I get the Snowstorm. End of my turn, since I used the stronger effect of Reputation, a stronger effect of Threaten, I use 1 Reputation. And that's it. Since I bought a spell, these are shifted down. We reveal the new one. We have Mist. Okay, I need to clean up my play area. I'm rerolling this. It's green. These are all discarded. And these will also go. Draw to my hand limit. I have the Snowstorm that I just draw. Stamina and Map. We go to Dummy's turn. So draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. It's a blue, so 2 more. We go back to my turn. I'm playing Underground Travel. I'm powering it up with this green from the source. What does it tell me? Move up to 3, reveal the space on the map. You may not move to or through swamp or lake this way, and you must end your movement on a safer space. Moving this way does not provoke rampaging enemies. Oh, by the way, before I do that, let me use my mana search as well. I would have rolled one of these. It's still green. This way. So before I use the mana, I do that. Now I use the mana. So I can move up to 3 spaces. So it doesn't matter what that space is, what's the move cost, and if I'm allowed to move through it or not. I can move through. I can move up to 3 spaces. I have to end my turn on a safer space, which means, for example, somewhere that doesn't trigger combat. So if it was, for example, if this wasn't my keep, I couldn't move and end my turn here because that wouldn't be a safer space. Or I can't move my turn on a mountain or a ridge. And I'm also not allowed to move to the lake or swamp because I guess you're tunneling underground, and if you tunnel under lake or swamp, water seep into it and you get wet. And who wants a wet Mage Knight? Alright, I'm moving 3 spaces, so 1, 2, and 3. Again, 3 spaces, doesn't matter what the move cost is. Now I'm playing the stamina for move 2 to explore here. So we have a monster, then we have a red mine and a marauding orc. So the marauding orc here, it's the wolf rider. Here you can see the monster then. It's an adventure site. I'm going to explain on the map what it means. While unconquered, you may enter monster den as your action for the turn. If you do, draw a brown enemy token to fight. If you fail to defeat it, leave the enemy token face up on the space. Next time a player chooses to enter the den, they fight this token. Reward: if you defeat the enemy, mark the space as conquered with your shield token and get 2 random mana crystals as your reward. Roll a mana die 2 times to determine their color. If gold is rolled, you choose the color you gain. If black is rolled, you get fame +1 instead of a crystal. I get 1 fame for exploring. So monster den is an adventure site. What does it mean? It means I can come here, don't do anything, and walk away from it. So adventure site, you don't have to do anything when you enter it. But if you want to, you have the option of entering it if you are at a space. In this case, for entering it, you draw 1 random brown enemy. If you defeat it, you get 2 random crystals. For the random crystal, you roll a die, you get the crystal of that color. For gold, you get to choose. And for black, you get 1 fame instead of crystal. Alright, I'm here, by the way. I think I just end my turn here. So that's the end of my turn. I'm rerolling this. It's green. These are discarded. I draw to my hand limit, which is still 5. We have swiftness and rejuvenate. We go to Dummy's turn. Dummy announces end of the round, which is I have 1 more turn and then the round is over. So before I do anything, I'm using my mana search. I'm re-rolling both of these green dice. It's a black and a blue, which I think will work out. So here's what I'm doing. I was hoping I can explore more, but I don't see that happen. So here's what I'm doing. I'm engaging both of these in a combat. So I'm engaging this one And this one, I'm next to both of them. I can challenge both of them to combat at the same time. So we have the Wolf Rider. It has 4 shield, 3 attack, and swiftness. We have the Orc Summoner. It has 4 shield. Its attack will be summoning a brown enemy, and 4 fame if I defeat it. So here's what I'm doing. I'm playing Snowstorm. I'm powering it up with this blue from the source. That's going to give me range ice attack 5. That's enough to defeat the Orc Summoner. So, which means I don't have to deal with its attack. It won't draw any brown enemy to attack you. I'm also playing Mana Draw. It lets me use extra mana from the source. So I'm using this white from the source. It's going to give me range attack 3. I have 1 range attack from here. I can also get 1 range attack from here. Either way, I have enough range attack to defeat this one as well during the range phase. If I didn't have enough range attack, this attack is 3. I could just assign it to the Guardian Golem without getting them wounded. So if this was a normal attack, I would have still managed to deal with it. Both of them are defeated, which means the battle is over. So now I'm allowed to play healing effects. Before I end my turn, I'm also playing Rejuvenate to heal this wound. And so I get 7 fame. I go from 19 to 26 and 2 reputation. So I'm going to level up at the end of my turn. I'm going to clean up my play area. So end of my turn, I'm leveling up, which means I simply flip this one over. Now I have extra command token and my hand limit is now 6. I draw to my hand limit. My last card is March. But Dummy has already announced end of the round, which means I don't get to play this card. So that's the end of the round. So the same thing. I refresh my units. If I had any skill that was flipped, I flipped it back. I shuffled my beat deck. Dummy get the last card from here. Dummy also get a crystal the same color as the last spell. These get shifted down. We reveal the new card here. We reveal a new card here. Shuffle Dummy's beat deck. This card gets refreshed, so we have a new card for the monastery. Have Blood Rage, and we also have new units. So I reveal 3 new units. We have Illusionist that can be recruited in the monastery, or Savage Monk can also be recruited in the monastery, and we have Autumn Gods. So we flip this on the day side. I reroll the source. 1 black, a white, and a red. That is allowed. We already have a black in the source code. So I draw my starting hand. My hand limit is now 6. Have a Rejuvenate, Stamina, Crushing Hold, Improvisation, Blood Ritual, and Threat. I have to choose a tactic, so the 4 tactic that wasn't chosen, I can choose from one of them. I think I go with Great Start. I'm in the monastery, I want to get more cards in my hand to interact. I already have 2 influence cards, maybe I can get 1 more. So I'm getting great to start. I'm randomizing for dummy, so this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, so the right moment, and I'm first again. So these 2 are out of the game. And since I got the greatest start, I draw 2 more cards in my hand. I have Mage, not influence. Oh, that's perfect. We have noble manners. Alright, I'm first. So here's what I'm playing noble manners. I'm powering it up with the white from the source. That's going to give me influence 4. I'm playing threaten. I'm powering it up with this red from my inventory. That's going to give me influence 5 plus influence 4. I have influence 9. My reputation is +1, so with influence 9, 7 of it I'm using here to get the illusionist. The other 2 I'm using here to get the savage monks. I still have 1 influence left. So again, I have 4 plus 5, 9 influence. My reputation is +1. For the one that I'm recruiting under this, I pay 5 less influence. So for the savage monk under here, I only need 2 influence, and my reputation +1, so I only need 1 influence for savage monk. So 1 influence here, 7 more influence here. That's going to give me influence. I spent 8 of the influence. I have 1 more influence left. I'm playing Blood Ritual. I'm gaining a red crystal and the red mana. And 1 wound. I'm using the red mana here. That's going to give me influence 5. I have to discard a card with it. I'm going to discard March with it. So that's going to give me influence 5 plus influence 5 plus influence 4. That's influence 14, and my reputation is +1. I used 1 to recruit Savage Monk because I need 5 less influence and my reputation is +1. I spent 7 to get the Illusionist. And the rest of the 6 that is left, I used to get Blood Ritual. I'm in the monastery. I can spend 6 influence to get the card that is in monastery. So again, my reputation count only for 1 of them. I got 3 stuff here, I got 2 units and a card, but my reputation count only once. So I had 5, 5 and 4, so 14 influence, plus 1 because of my reputation, so 15. I use 7 here, 6 here. That's 20 minus 5 because under this one I need to pay 5 less influence. Was a lot going on, but I think it made sense in the end. I hope so. So, before I end my turn, I'm also playing Rejuvenate to heal this one. End of my turn, so I'm rerolling this die. It's black. These are all discarded. I draw to my hand limit. Have Blood Rage, Snowstorm, and Swiftness. We go to Dummy's turn. So 1, 2, 3. It's a green, 1 green in Dummy's inventory. So 1. I'm gonna put these out for now. They won't have any more effect in the game. Oh, my hand limit is 6 by the way. So I would have had Determination yet. Oh, by the way, one thing I forgot last turn, I would have lost 1 reputation because of the stronger effect of Threaten. I would have gained 1 reputation because of the stronger effect of Noble Manner, so they would have cancel each other, but I would have also get Fame +1 for the stronger effect of the noble knights. Alright, we go back to my turn. I'm playing Stamina for move 2. I'm going to explore here with that move 2. Oops. So we have another monastery, we have a marauding orc, a magical glade, and the dungeon. So the marauding orc is going to be the other orc summoner. We have another monastery here, so another card here. We have refreshing walk. And we have a dungeon. We have dungeon, again it's an adventure site. While unconquered, you can enter the dungeon as your action for the turn. If you do, reveal a brown enemy token and fight it. Knighthood applies for this combat and unit cannot be used. If you defeat the enemy, mark the space with a shield token and roll a mana die to determine your reward. For Warlord Black, gain a spell, otherwise gain an artifact. Whether you defeat the enemy or not, discard it afterward. Next time a new token will be drawn. While Conquer, you can enter a Conquer dungeon to fight a random brown enemy token with the same limitations, so Knightful applies and no unit. If you defeat it, you get no reward other than Fame, and you do not mark the space with the shield token. So dungeon again is an adventure site, which means I can come here, don't do anything and move away. If I want to enter it, I can enter it as my action. I draw a random brown enemy token. I can't use my unit and Night Rule applies, which means even during the day I'm not allowed to use gold as basic colors, but I'm allowed to use black to power up my. If I do manage to defeat it, my reward will either be a spell or artifact. To determine it, you roll a die. If it's basic color, you get an artifact. If it's gold or black, you get a spell. Alright, I explored, I get 1 fame. And I think I moved a little more here, so I also play Swiftness for move 2 to move here. So that's the end of my turn. I discard these cards. Draw to my hand limit, so 2 more cards. We have the other Swiftness and we have Crystallize. Go to dummy's turn, so 1, 2, 3. It's a white, 1 white in dummy's inventory, so 1 more. We go back to my turn. Before I do that, let me make some space for myself here. So I'm going to put this here and turn this a little. Up, that's a little better. So I'm using Swiftness for move 2. I'm moving here. As my action, I'm allowed to enter the dungeon, which I think I'm going to do. I'm going really slow because I don't have the mana I need, but I think I need to enter the dungeon anyway. So as my action, I'm entering the dungeon. So I draw a random brown enemy token. We have the Crypt. So it is fortified, so even if it's not a fortified site, I can't use a range attack during the range and siege attack phase. I can only use siege attack. It's attacking me 6, and it gives me 5 fame if I defeat it. Here's what I'm doing. In the dungeon, you are not allowed to use your unit, but Bound of Loyalty breaks that rules, which means I am allowed to use this unit, but not the rest of them. So I don't have enough siege attack to defeat it. I would have if I had access to green, but I don't have access to green. So here's what I'm doing. Or blue actually, but whatever. I'm using this unit for black 3. I'm using determination for black 2. I'm using crystallized sideways for one more black. So black 3, black 2, black 1, that's black 6, the enemy is black. Now we go to attack phase. I'm playing Blood Rage. I'm powering it up with this green from the source, with this red from the source. It's going to give me attack 4. I can gain a wound to increase it to attack 9. I don't need to, so I'm just playing this for 1 attack. And it seems like a waste, but since I don't have any mana, I guess I just played sideways. So that's attack 4, plus 1 because the knight will apply, so attack 5, plus 1, attack 6. That's enough to defeat the creep one, so I blocked it 3, plus 2, plus 1. I attacked it 4, plus 1, and 1 card sideways. So I get 5 fame, I go from 28 to 33. This one goes away. Have to clean up my area. Now I have a blue. I discard the cards that I used. And I get my reward. My reward, I roll a random mana die. It's a white, it's a basic color, so I get an artifact. Whenever you're getting an artifact, you get 1 more than you're supposed to get. And you choose that thing. So since I'm getting 1, I draw 2, choose 1. If it was, for example, 2, I draw 3, choose 1 of this. So we have Shield of the Fallen King, black 4 or 2, sorry, black 6 or 2 black 4 against different attacks. Or I can break it to get Cold Fire attack, Cold Fire black 8 or up to 3 Cold Fire black 4 against different attacks. We have Circlet of Proficiency, use any non-interactive skill in the common skill offer, including your own, as if it was your skill. If it's a skill usable each turn, one that does not flip, use its effect twice. Or I can break it to just take 1 skill from the common skill offer and put it in my play area and use it. I have to choose 1 of them. I think I go with the Circlet of Proficiency. So this goes back here. And that's it. So I draw to my hand limit, we have the Circlet, we have Underground Travel, Rage, Concentration, and Mad. So we go to Dummy's turn, so 1, 2, and 3, it's a red, 1 red here, so I draw 1 more. We go back to my turn. Oh, by the way, I just realized I forgot to mark this dungeon. I should have marked it when I back. Alright, this turn I don't have much to do. I guess I just play 2 cards sideways to explore. Which ones? I think I play Rage sideways. I have a lot of attack here. And I play Concentration sideways. So that's going to give me move 2. I'm here, I can explore, so I'm going to explore here. So we have a Magical Glade, Ancient Ruin, Marauding Orc, and a Village. So the Marauding Orc is going to be Ironclad. Ancient Ruin, when revealed, place a yellow token here face up if it's day, face down if it's night. A face down token is revealed at the start of the next day round, or if someone enters the space. While unconquered, you can enter the Ancient Ruin as your action for the turn. There will either be altar there or enemies to fight. Altar, you can pay 3 mana of the color shown on the yellow token as tribute to altar. If you do, mark the space with the shield token and gain 7 fame as your reward. So these are examples of altar. You can see you can, for example, pay 3 blue mana to get 7 fame, or 3 green, or 3 red, and so on. So you pay the mana and you immediately get the fame, then you take this off and mark the space with your shield. Or it could be enemies. There are the enemies depicted on the yellow token and fight them. Any undefeated enemy remains on the space and can be fought later. If you defeat the last enemy here, mark the space with the shield token and get the reward depicted on the yellow token. So here you can see the enemies. So if you want to enter Ancient Ruin, you draw the enemies shown here and you fight them. If you manage to defeat them, you gain the reward that is shown. So Ancient Ruin is revealed. We draw one of these, put them here face up since it's day. It's an altar. You can pay three white mana to get 7 fame. I think I just end my turn here, so I discard these 2 cards. There are 2 cards in my hand. So we have March and Rage. We go to dummy step. So 9, 1, 2, 3. It's a red, 1 red in dummy's inventory, so 1 more comes. We go back to my turn. My turn, I'm playing Circlet of Proficiency. I can use one of these skills as if it were mine. I'm using this one. I'm getting green crystal and the white mana token. I'm using the white mana token on mana draw. What does it tell me? Take a mana die from the source, set it to any color except gold. So I'm going to set it to green. Take 2 mana of that color. So I'm going to take 2 green mana. So this die doesn't get rerolled. This stays here. And I still haven't used any mana from the source yet. Now I'm using one of these mana tokens that I got with March. That's going to give me move 4. I'm coming to this monastery. By the way, I moved away from here because the next tile will be core tile and this is on coastline. I can't explore here. If I want to explore it, I have to explore it here. Or here. Alright, I'm in the monastery. I think I have enough to burn down the monastery. So, as my action, I'm going to burn down the monastery. So, I'm losing 3 reputation. And drawing a random violet enemy. So we have the fire mages, they have attack 5 with fire resistance. They're doing 6 fire attack and they give me 5 fame if I defeat them. I can't use any of my unit. I could have used this one if it was ready, but it's not ready. So here's what I'm doing. It's attacking me 6. I don't have enough to block it, so I'm just going to get 2 wounds in my hand. So attacking 6, reduce the attack by my shield, which is 3. It's going to be 1 wound, 3 of the attack left, reducing it 3 more, so 3 more wound, 1 more wound. The attack is reduced to 0. All the damage is assigned. Now we go to my turn. I'm using one of these red from my inventory for attack 4. I'm using my... Oh. Wait. It's day. I didn't have to do any of this. Sorry about that. I'm taking it back. Here's what I'm doing. I still have this green mana that I haven't used yet. I'm using this green mana with Crushing Bolt. It's going to give me siege attack 3. Plus 2, that's range attack 2, siege or range attack 5. the enemy is not fortified, that's enough to defeat it in the range and siege attack phase. I don't get any wound. So the enemy is defeated. Gonna clean up my play area. I get 5 fame. I go from 33 to 38, which means I'm going to level up at the end of my turn. I get my reward. My reward is another artifact, so I draw 2, choose 1. So we have Sword of Justice or Banner of Fear. So Sword of Justice, when I play it, I discard as many cards as I want. For each card that I discard, I get attack 3. And I get fame +1 for each enemy that I defeat in that phase. Or I can break it to double all of my physical attack and all of the enemy lose their physical resistance. Banner of Fear, I can assign it to a unit. I can spend that unit to cancel attack from an enemy. Or I can break it so that up to 3 enemies don't attack. I think I get the Sword of Justice. So this goes back here. Now I level up. So I draw 2 skill, choose 1. So we have leadership. Once around, a unit gets +1 range attack or +2 normal attack or +3 block. Or I can get inspiration once around, except in combat, flip this to ready or heal. I think I get the inspiration. Again, I could have gotten one of these 2 skill and get the last one, but I think I will go with the inspiration. I also have to get a card from here. I do like Intimidate, but I don't want to lose much more reputation that I already did. I think I just get the mana stone. So these all get shifted down, and we have the shield. I also have to mark this one, and that's it. By the way, I should have added one of Dummy's skill to the common skill area. I forgot about that. I will realize it later. Now back to the game. I draw to my hand limit, so we have Mana Storm, we have Sword of Justice, and we have Stab. We go to Dummy's turn, so 1 and 2. So Dummy is going to announce end after our next turn. We go to my turn. Here's what I'm doing. I'm playing Underground Travel with this green. It let me move 3 spaces, so I'm moving 1, 2, 3. I'm not allowed to move through Swamp or Mage, I didn't. Now I'm playing Stamina for 2 more movement to explore here. So this is a coastline, this is a coastline, but this isn't. I'm allowed to explore here, and it's adjacent to 2 tiles, so I am allowed to put a core tile here. Is it the city? It isn't. So we have a monastery, a tomb, and the spawning ground. So we have the tomb, which is also an adventure site. While unconquered, you can enter the tomb as your action for the turn. If you do, draw a red Draconum enemy token to fight. Night Rule applies for this combat, and unit cannot be used. If you defeat the enemy, mark the tomb with a shield token and gain 1 spell and 1 artifact as your reward. Whether you defeat the enemy or not, discard it afterward. Next time a new token will be drawn. While conquered, you can enter a conquered tomb to fight a random red enemy token with the same limitations, so Night Rule applies and no unit. If you defeat it, you get no reward other than fame, and you do not mark the space with a shield. We also have the spawning ground, again adventure site. While unconquered, you may enter the spawning ground as your action for the turn. If you do, draw 2 brown enemy token and fight them. If you fail to defeat them both, any undefeated token remain face up on the space, and any defeated enemies are replaced with a new face down brown enemy token. Next time a player chooses to enter the ground, they reveal and fight this token. Reward: if you defeat both enemies, mark the space as conquered with your shield token and gain an artifact and 3 random mana crystal as your reward. Roll a mana die 3 times to determine their color. If gold is rolled, you choose the color you gain. If black is rolled, you get fame +1 instead of crystal. So for the monastery, we put another card here. Spellforge. Tomb was pretty much like dungeon, except instead of drawing a brown enemy, you draw a red one, a Draconum. If you defeat it, you get a spell and artifact. The spawning ground is kind of like this monster den, except instead of drawing only one enemy, you draw 2 enemy. If you defeat them, you get artifact and 3 random crystal. If any of them stays there and is not defeated, the one that is not defeated stays there face up. Next time someone enters it, you deals with that one plus another random one. So you are always dealing with 2 enemy until it's conquered. Alright, I get 1 thing for exploring. And that's it. So that was the movement part of my action. Now I'm in this monster den. I can enter it as my action. I'm going to enter the monster den as my action. So I'm drawing a random brown enemy. We have the Minotaur. So it has 5 shield. It's attacking me 5. And it's brutal, which means if I don't block it, I have to assign twice as much damage, which means if I don't block it, I'm assigning 10 damage. If I do block it, then it works as well. So here's what I'm doing. I'm using my Autumn Crossbowman for block 3. I'm using my Guardian Garland for block 2. That's block 5. That's enough to block. So I didn't have enough range attack. So I just went to the block phase. I'm blocking a 3 + 2. That's enough to block it. Now we go to attack phase. I'm playing Sword of Justice. I'm discarding Rage with it. That's going to give me attack 3 + 2 attack from here. That's going to give me attack 5. That's enough to defeat them. So I didn't have range attack. It attacked me 5. I blocked 3 from here, 2 from here. Since it was black, I don't have to assign the damage. Now I play Sword of Justice. For each card that I discard with it, I get attack 3. I discarded 1 card with it. I got attack 3 + 2 from my day sharpshooting. That's attack 5. I also get +1 fame for each enemy I defeat this way. So I'm getting 4 fame. So I go from 39 to 43 +1 because of the Sword of Justice. And this enemy is defeated. Before I end my turn, I'm also playing. You know what? I have 1 more turn. Let me see what kind of crystal I get from here. I do this next turn because I still have 1 more turn. So I need to clean up my area. This is blue. These are all discarded. I get my reward. My reward is that I roll a mana die twice. So a blue crystal, another blue crystal. So I get 2 blue crystals. That's my reward, and I mark its space. Dummy announces end of the round. My turn, I'm playing Mana Storm. It lets me choose a mana in the source that is showing the basic color, gain the crystal of that color to your inventory. Then immediately reroll that die. So I'm using this blue from the source to get another blue crystal. Die rolling was unfortunate, so I reroll this one. It's now red. I'm using my illusionist to get a white crystal. I'm using my inspiration to ready the illusionist and use them again to get another one. And that's it. That's the end of my turn, and that's the end of the round. Again, we do the same thing for end of the round effect. So all units get refreshed. This skill gets refreshed. I shuffle my deep deck. Dummy gets discard. Dummy gets a green crystal. These get shifted down. We put the new cards here. The fireball and ice chain. The unit also gets refreshed, so we will have 3 units. The peasants, other peasants, and the scouts. These cards also get refreshed. We have 3 monastery on the board, but one of them is burned, so only 2 of them get cards. So we have training and ritual attack. Need to roll the source and flip this to the night side. Blue, white, and black. Alright, I draw my starting hand. March, Rage, Sword of Justice, Blood Ritual, Mana Storm, and Stand. I have to choose a tactic. I'm thinking of doing this one immediately. I may be able to pull it off, I don't know though. Yeah. I'm going to get so I'm getting preparation as my tactic, which means whatever dummy is getting is going to be first anyway, so it doesn't matter. So dummy is going to be first, and I'm second. This is the last round. We have to find the city. By the end of this round, we still have these 2 tiles to explore. One of them will be the city. So, preparation, I get to choose 1 card and put it in my hand. I'm getting a snowstorm, putting it in my hand, and shuffle my deck. Alright. Dummies. Oh, I forgot to shuffle the dummies deck. So dummies first, we reveal 3 cards. It's white, 1 white in dummies inventory. That's the end of dummies turn. My turn. I'm playing the stamina and powering it up with this blue from my inventory. That's going to give me move 4. I'm playing March. That's going to give me move 2. That's move 6. So with move 6, desert during the night is 3 movement. I'm using 3 of it to move here. I'm using 3 more to move here. That's my move 6. Now as my action, I'm entering the tomb. So it's the tomb. When I enter it, I draw a random draconum. We have the fire dragon. So fire dragon has 7 shield, fire resistance, and physical resistance, and it will attack me with 9 fire attack. If I defeat it, that's going to get 8 fame. So let's see what I do. It is night, which means I can use the stronger effect of a snowstorm. But is there a way I don't get a wound? I don't think so. I don't have the ice attack, and I don't have 18. I don't have any ice block, and I don't have the 18 normal block. So I think I have to defeat it in the range phase. So here's what I'm playing the snowstorm. I'm powering it up with this blue from my inventory. I haven't used any dye from the source yet. I'm using this black from the source. Take a wound, siege ice attack 8, so I take a wound. And I get siege ice attack 8, so this has fire and physical resistance but no ice resistance, so siege attack 8 is effective. It defeats the enemy during the range and siege attack phase, so the battle is over. I don't have to deal with the rest. So Fire Dragon is defeated. I get 8 fame. I go from 44 to 52, which means I'm going to level up at the end of my turn. Gonna clean up my play area. This is green. These cards are all discarded. And I get my reward. My reward is an artifact and a spell. I also have to mark this. I need to move a little, so I think for my spell I get the mist form. So these get shifted down, we reveal a new one. It's mana. Also get an artifact, so I draw 2, choose 1. We have Banner of Fortitude or Banner of Glory. Banner of Fortitude, you assign this to a unit. Once around when the unit about to get wounded, fill it to ignore the wound. Or I can break it to heal all of my unit completely, anytime except combat. Banner of Glory, assign this to unit, a unit you control except armor +1 and +1 to any of the attack or block. Whenever this unit attack or block, fame +1. I think I get the Banner of Glory. And this will go away. Alright, I draw to my hand limit. Oh, I have to level up before I do that, so I flip this one. Now my shield is full. I draw to my hand limit. It's going to be Banner of Glory. Dummy goes 1, 2, 3. It's a white, so 1 more. I'm assigning Banner of Glory to Savage Monks. So from now on, they have +1 armor and +1 to their attack or blocks. I do want to get some card out of my hand, so let me just play Mana Storm to get a crystal that's the same color as the source. I'm going to get a green crystal. And I have to immediately reroll it. It's now blue. I think I end my turn here, so this is discarded. I draw to my hand limit. I have mist form and crystals. Go to dummy's turn, so 1, 2, 3. It's a green, 2 green in dummy's inventory, 1 and 2. So I need to start moving and start exploring. Playing mist form, powering it up with this blue. Gives me move 4. The move cost of all terrain, including lake, is 2. You cannot enter hills and mountain for the rest of the game. So I'm here, I can spend the 2 movement to explore, but I can't explore here because the core tile has to be adjacent to 2 tiles. So I'm going to explore here first. It's not the city. We have a Mage Tower, a Draconum, and Ancient Ruins. So Mage Tower, I put an enemy face down here. It doesn't reveal because it's not day. The same for Ancient Ruins. They face down until I move to it. We have the Draconum, which is another rampaging enemy. When revealed, place a red Draconum enemy token face up on its space. Effect: no one can enter a space that is occupied by the Draconum enemy token. Draconum can be provoked into combat by a player who moves from one space adjacent to it to another space adjacent to it. Action: you can challenge a Draconum from adjacent space as your action. Reward: if you defeat the Draconum, discard its token and gain reputation +2. So we have a Draconum, we put this one here, it's the High Dragon. So for Draconum, work the same as the Marauding Orc. If you are next to it, you can challenge it to combat. If you move from one adjacent space to another adjacent space, you have to challenge it to combat. And if you defeat it, you get +2 fate. Alright, I still have 2 movement left, and the move cost of all terrain is 2 this turn. So I'm thinking if I should move to this one. I have a lot of ready unit, and I know the next tile will be the city. I can put it here whenever I want. So I'm not in any rush. So I guess I get something before I reveal the last tile. Yeah, I have 2 movement left. I use that 2 movement to attack this Mage Tower. I can bring this High Dragon in. Do I want to? Can get 5 range attack from here, 5 siege attack from here, 2 range attack from here, 1 range attack from here. That's still 8. So I can't defeat it in range attack. Do I want to deal with its block and... Oh, I can use my illusions for that. Yeah, before I reveal this one, I'm bringing this one in as well. So let's see what we have. We have the Savage Monk and we have the High Dragon. So Savage Monks, we have the Monks. I'm using my Savage Monks. I'm powering them with the green. It's going to give me a siege attack 4 +1 because of Banner of Glory. That's going to give me siege attack 5. They're fortified, they need siege attack, so they're defeated. High Dragon is attacking me 6 cold fire attack. I have to generate either 6 cold fire block, or I have to assign 12 points of damage because this is brutal. So here's what I'm doing. I'm using my Illusionist. It says target unfortified enemy does not attack. So this one does not attack because it's unfortified. And I don't have to deal with block or assigning damage. Now we go to attack phase. I'm playing Sword of Justice. It's going to give me attack 3 for each card that I discard. I'm going to discard Crystallize and Rage. That's attack. That's going to give me attack 6. I guess I discard this one as well. That's going to give me attack 9. Yeah. But I haven't used any of my unit and I don't see using them later, so let me not do that. So I hold on to these 2 cards. So here's what I did instead. I did Blade Sword of Justice. I discard Rage with it. That's going to give me attack 3. Playing this for attack 4. +3 is going to give me attack 7. plus 2 attack 9, that's enough to defeat. So just to recap, I attacked the Mage Tower. By the way, I should have lost 1 reputation when I attacked the Mage Tower. The Draconum was next to it. I could bring it in. I did decide to bring it in. So this one has 5 shield, 5 attack, poison, and it was fortified because of the Mage Tower. This one has 9 shield, fire attack and ice attack, fire resistance and ice resistance. It's doing 6 cold fire attack, and it has both. So with this one, I did siege attack 4 plus 1 because of Banner of Glory. That siege attack 5, that was enough to defeat this one. With this one, I use my Illusionist. It says target unfortified enemy does not attack, so this one didn't attack. Now I'm playing Sword of Justice. I discard Rage with it. That's going to give me attack 3, plus 3, plus 2, plus 1. That's attack 9. That's enough to defeat. So I get 9 plus 4, 13 fame. I go from 52 to 65, which means I'm going to level up at the end of my turn. I get 2 reputation for defeating a Draconum. Need to clean up my play area. Before I do that, I think I played the Blood Ritual as well. Yeah. Before I end my turn, I'm playing Blood Ritual. I take 1 wound, a red crystal, and a mana of any color. I'm going to get a blue mana. I'm using that blue mana with Crystallize. To get a crystal of any color I want, I'm going to get I think I get a green one. But these 2 wounds are in my hand, the rest are all played. I reroll this. It's a white. I get my reward. Reward is a spell. I think I get Charm. We build a new spell here. We have the Dark Shield. Just one correction here. At the end of this turn, I should have had 3 more fame. 1 for exploring. In this scenario, every time you explore, you get 1 fame. So I should have had 1 more fame because of that. Also, during the battle, I used Sword of Justice for each enemy, and you defeat that way, you get 1 fame. And I also used the unit that had Banner of Glory on it. For using that unit, I also should have gotten 1 more fame. It didn't have any effect in the game in the end, but I should have got 3 more fame. Now back to the game. I also need to level up. I'm going to look at my 2 skills. We have Calming the Weather. Once around, the move cost of all terrain is reduced by 2 to the minimum of 1 for this turn. Put this in the center. Any player may return it to you face down to reduce the move cost of all terrain by 1. Or we have this one. Whisper in the Treetop. Once around, flip is to gain 1 white crystal to your inventory and 1 green mana. By the way, I just realized last time I leveled up, I forgot to put one of Tommy's skill in the common skill area. It's the night sharpshooting once around, so the opposite of this one. During day is 1, during night is 2. So, the interactive skill, how does it work? So, you saw it has 2 effects. You get the first effect, put it in the middle, other players can use it to get the second effect. In a solo play, when you use the first effect, you put it in the middle, you have 1 turn to use the second effect. Whether you use the second effect or not, at the end of the second turn, it gets flipped down until the end of the round, you can't use it. I have to choose one of these. I think Don't really need that much movement, so I guess I just get this one. Also add one of dummies skill here. I feel no pain. Once a turn, you can discard one wound and draw one card. I also need to choose a advanced action card. I think I get this status. Draw the new card, it's Decompose. So I draw to my hand limit, we have a Stout Resolve, Charm, Swiftness, and Rage. Dummy's turn, so 1, 2, 3, it's a green, 2 green in Dummy's inventory, 1 and 2. I'm playing Charm, I'm powering up with this white from the source, that's going to give me influence 4. And if I use it during interaction, I can either get a crystal of color in my inventory or get discount of 3 to cost of 1 of unit. So I am using during interaction, I'm recruiting the Scout. These are the only unit that I can get in the monastery. And I think I just end my turn now. So end of my turn, I can also, so I'm rerolling this, it's blue. End of my turn, I can discard any non-wound card from my hand, so I'm discarding these. One note here, when I use the spell Charm, I could have got discount of 3 influence or 1 crystal. I didn't need the discount, I could just get the crystal, but I forgot to get the crystal. It wasn't a mistake that affected the game, it was just one benefit that I was allowed to get and I didn't. Back to the game. I draw to my hand limit, we have Underground Travel, Mana Draw, and Blood Mage. We go to Dummy's turn, so Dummy is going to announce end of the round next turn. We go to my turn. So on my turn, I'm playing, first of all, I'm flipping this to get a white crystal and the green mana. I'm using the green mana here to move up to 3 spaces. So I'm not allowed to move through swamp, but I'm not moving through swamp, I'm starting at the swamp. So I can use this underground travel here. So I'm moving 1, 2. I didn't move 3 spaces, I only moved 2 spaces. Now in the monastery, by the way, I forgot to mark this Mage Tower. Now I'm in the monastery, I can interact in the monastery. So for each 2 influence, you can get 1 point of healing. So here's what I'm doing. I'm playing a Stout Resolve for influence 3. I can discard the wound to increase it, but if I do that, then I won't have the wound to heal it. So instead, I'm just going to play this Mana Draw Sideway. That's going to give me influence 4. My reputation is 0, so for influence, I can get healed 2, so I'm healing both of these. So that's the end of my turn. Actually, not my play area. I draw to my hand limit. We have Swiftness, Threaten, Concentration, Secret of Proficiency, and Stamina. We go to Dummy's turn. Dummy is announcing end of the round. We go to my turn. I want to burn down the monastery, but I want to move first and put the city out before that. So here's what I'm doing. I'm using my scout. What does it tell me? I can choose each of these. I'm using this one. Move 2, you may reveal a tile at a distance of 2 space instead of 1. So usually when you are exploring, you have to be adjacent to that space, but scouts let me explore from 2 space away. So I'm using my scout for move 2 and explore here, which I know is going to be the city because it's the last tile. So we have the blue city. Let me turn this a little. So we have the blue city. We have a Draconum here, a city and a monastery. So I'm gonna put the Draconum here. Is the Swamp Dragon. We have a monastery, so one more card here. We have Pathfinder. We have the city. By the way, if it's your first game, feel free to skip this part and come back to it later, because in this scenario we are not conquering the city, we are just trying to find it, so none of the thing that I'm explaining here is going to apply. So it's a fortified site when we will place the city figure and the corresponding color on the space. Find that city's description card and place it on the table. Put the enemy token depicted on the figure base face down on the city card. The tokens are revealed when the player is adjacent to the city, even at night. While unconquered can be assaulted by one or more players, an assaulting player gets reputation -1. Defending enemies are fortified and get the bonus indicated on the upper part of the city card. Whenever the player defeats a defending enemy, they put a shield token on the city card. If all enemies are defeated, the city is conquered and the player with the most shield tokens is the city leader. If a tie, the player who first places a shield token is the leader. While conquered, multiple players can occupy the city and player versus player combat is not allowed here. Units with the city symbol can be recruited here. See the light side of the city card for the other interaction option. During interaction in the city, player gets influence bonus equal to the number of shield tokens they have them. Bonus if you end your turn on or adjacent to a conquered city, your hand limit is 2 higher if you are the city's leader, or 1 higher if you have at least 1 shield token. When a city tile is revealed, let's say a blue city is revealed. You get the corresponding figure, you put it on the level that the scenario tells you. So based on the scenario that you're seeing, the scenario tells you on which level to put the city. For example, let's say the scenario is telling us to put it at 8. You can, by the way, adjust it however you want. Let's say we put it at 8. We see what enemies do we get for level 8. In this case, it would be 2 white and 2 violet. So we get the city card, in this case the blue city. We draw the enemies shown here, so 2 white, 2 purple face down. Whenever a player gets next to the city, even at night, these get flipped face up. These will be defending the city and they get the bonus that the city gives them. You can see the bonus here. In the case of blue cities, all the elemental attack get boosted. So +2 to ice attack, +2 to fire attack, and +1 to cold fire attack. So if something has a physical attack here, this does nothing to it. In this case, we don't have any physical attack. But in the case of elemental attack, so let's say in the case of this ice golem, it's not attacking 2, it's attacking 4. The same applies to all of them. If it was white city, all defending enemies get armor +1. For red city, all physical attacks become brutal, but it has no effect on the elemental attack. And for the green city, all physical attack gets poison, but it has no effect on the elemental attack. You can assault the city by moving to it. The move cost to the city is always 2, so you pay 2 movement, you enter the city, and you face all of them at the same time. For each enemy that you defeat, you put 1 of your shield token on the city card. Let's say you assault the city and you manage to defeat 2 of the defenders. The rest stay there, you put 2 shield here, you retreat back. This keeps happening until all of them are defeated. So there will be, for example, 4 shield here. It could be from other players as well in the case of multiplayer game. In the case of multiplayer game, the player who has the most shield here is the city leader. That player gets hand limit +2 when they are on the city or adjacent to it. And other player, as long as they have at least 1 shield here, they get +1. You can interact in the city. You can interact to get the city unit, so the city with this icon. Or you can use the special interaction option that each city has. In the case of blue city, you can spend 7 influence plus a mana of the same color as a spell to get a spell. In the white city, you can recruit all units. It doesn't have to be city unit. And you can always spend 2 influence to add an elite unit to the unit offer. In the case of the red city, you can spend 12 influence for an artifact. And in the case of green city, you can spend 6 influence to get an advanced action. When you are interacting in the city, you get influence bonus equal to the shield here. So for example, if I conquer the blue city and I'm interacting here, I get a bonus of +4 when I'm interacting in the city. So when the city is revealed, that's the end of the game. Each player gets 1 more turn and the game ends. But since the dummy already announced the end of the round, I won't have 1 more turn. That will be my last turn. So as the action for my last turn, I already did the movement. As the action for my last turn, I'm going to burn down the monastery. But before I do that, I'm going to refresh one of my units. Because if I start burning down the monastery, then I'm engaged in a combat, I can't do any healing effect. So I'm going to do the healing effect. So I'm flipping the inspiration to ready this unit before I start engaging in the combat. Now I'm burning down the monastery, so I lose 3 reputation. There are random violet enemy. We have the ice mages. So they're attacking me 5. They have 6 shield with ice resistance, and they give me 5 fame if I defeat them. So here's what I'm doing. I'm playing Circlet of Proficiency. I can use one of the skills in the common skill area as if it's mine. I'm using the Shield Mastery from the common skill area. Since it's a skill that doesn't flip, I get its effect twice. I'm using its effect to get 2 fire block. So it's 5 ice attack. I need either 5 fire block or 5 cold fire block. Or I get inefficient block like 10 physical block or 10 ice block. So I get 4 fire block from here. I get 3 more block from here. This 3 block +1. So that's 4 normal block from here. It's not efficient, but I'm getting 4 block. Even if it's not efficient, it counts as 2 plus the 4 that is efficient. That's enough to block the enemy. Now I'm playing Swiftness with this white from the source. That's going to give me attack 3 +1, so attack 4. And I played Blood Rage for 2 more attack. That's attack 6. That's enough to defeat them. So it was attacking me 5. I used Circlet of Proficiency with one of the skills in the common skill area. I got block, fire block 2 plus 2 fire block, because since the skill doesn't flip, I get it twice. So I get 4 fire block from here. I got 4 normal block from here. So that's block 3 plus 1 because of Banner of Glory. That was enough to block the enemy. In the attack phase, I got 3 attack from here, 2 attack from here, plus 1 attack from here. I could take a wound to take this, make this attack 5. I don't need to, it's already defeated. Alright, I get 5 fame. I go from 65 to 70. I have to clean up my play area. This is gold. It was in the common skill area. It goes back where it was. This comes back to me. I discard all the cards I used. I get my reward, which is an artifact, but it was the last one, so it doesn't matter. Let's say I get this one. I draw to my hand limit. I have 3 cards, so I draw 3 more cards. And that's the end of the round. Also, end of the game. I made the mistake that I made last time here again, so I forgot to get the fame for exploding. I also forgot to get the fame for using the unit at the Banner of Glory. So I should have gotten 2 more fame. It didn't have any major effect on the game. It would have just been 2 more fame here, 3 more fame on that turn. In the end game, it would have been like a 5 fame difference. Now back to the game. So we found the city, that was our objective, we achieved our objective, and the game ends. By the way, I should have discarded this one. So when the game ends, you can count your score and see how well you've done. To do that, first thing you need to do is sort the cards that you have. So you separate your artifact, spells, and advanced action cards and wounds from each other. By the way, I should have marked this. And you have this card that tells you how to count your scores. So the first thing is greatest knowledge. For each spell you get +2 fame. For each advanced action card you get +1 fame. So I have 4 spells and 5 advanced action cards, so that will be 8 plus 5, 13 fame. So I go from 70 to 83. In a multiplayer game, the player that has the most of this also get +3 fame. In the solo game, you don't have that reward. Now, greatest loot, +2 for each artifact, +1 for each pair of crystal. So I have 4 artifacts and I have 3 pair of crystals. So that would be 8 plus 3, so 11 to 94. Greatest leader, so you get points equal to the level of your unit, and if they're wounded, half of that rounded down. So I have 4 level 2 units, 1 level 1 unit, that's going to be 9 fame. So I go from 94 to 103. Then we have the greatest conqueror. For each monastery, mage, tower, or keep, you get 2 fame. Let me clear up here a little. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's going to be 10 fame. 113. Greatest adventure, +2 for each adventure site. So that would be 1, 2, and 3. So that's 6 fame. 113 to 119. And greatest beating, -2 for each wound. I don't have any. So that's it. You count your fame. Whoever has the most fame will win the game. And that's it. That's Mage Knight. I hope my explanations were clear enough. Any question you have, put it down below. I try to get to you as soon as I can. I know there's a lot of information and lots of rules, but the rules are pretty logical. So if you play the game often enough for a certain period of time, the rules sticks with you. You don't have to check it every time. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you enjoyed playing the game. Until next time, happy gaming.